Oh, when the saints come marching in, oh, when the saints come marching in, oh, Lord, I want to be in that number. When the saints come marching in, oh, when the saints come marching in, oh, when the saints come marching in, oh, Lord, I want to be in that number. When the saints come marching in, we are traveling in the footsteps of those who have gone before, but we'll all be reunited on a new and sunlit shore. Oh, when the saints come marching in, oh, when the saints come marching in, oh, Lord, I want to be in that number when the saints come marching in. Some days in this world of trouble, He's the only one we need. But I'm waiting for that morning when the new world is revealed. Oh, when the saints come marching in, oh, when the saints come marching in, oh, Lord, I want to be in that number when the saints come marching in. Oh, when the saints come marching in, oh, when the saints come marching in, oh, Lord, I want to be in that number when the saints come marching in.
The Magpies are a mighty club, we know, we're on the way to victory, let's go, we'll fight the fight, we'll show our might, we'll do our best for the black and white, for we're mighty proud of the mighty black and white, we're mighty proud of the mighty black and white. The Magpies are a mighty club, we know, we'll celebrate in our Magpie Club, let's go, we'll win the fight, we'll show our might, we'll do our best for the black and white, for we're mighty proud of the mighty black and white, we're mighty proud of the mighty black and white. Magpies are a mighty club, we know, we're on the way to victory, let's go, we'll fight the fight, we'll show our might, we'll do our best for the black and white, for we're mighty proud of the mighty black and white, we're mighty proud of the mighty black and white. The Magpies are a mighty club, we know, we celebrate at our Magpie Club, let's go, we'll win the fight, we'll show our might, we'll do our best for the black and white, for we're mighty proud of the mighty black and white, we're mighty proud of the mighty black and white.
Good evening and welcome to TIO Stadium in Darwin. You're watching AFLNT's coverage of the 2022-23 TIO NTFL season. Round 8 action between Palmerston and St Mary's. And the big news of tonight, we've got the Little Master, possibly the greatest player of all time, Gary Ablett, donning Magpie colours, black and white. He's joining Palmerston for what should be one of the biggest games of the season this year. I'm Will Zwar. With me tonight is Clint Firth and Ashley Nanakaros. Welcome, gentlemen. What are your thoughts on tonight's game?
Yeah, thanks, Will. Well, there's a good crowd that's come into TIO Stadium here. We all want to see. There's been a lot of hype and a lot of talk about this game, and why wouldn't there be, Clint? There's what do we count out? There's 4 ex-AFL players in that Palmerston lineup. Five, in fact. Yep. 5 ex-AFL players, a couple of Brownlow medalists, premiership players, you name it.
Yeah, so as you said, big crowd. Round 8 of the NTFL, getting towards Christmas now. I think first off, it's a big game. St Mary's 6, they'll be looking to flex a little bit of muscle, and up against the muchly improved Palmerston. And it's not just Gary Ablett, we've got Matty Stokes up playing his first game. So Matty Stokes, 200 games of AFL, 209 goals, so a very experienced player coming in. As we said, Aston Hams, ex-West Coast Eagles player, dominating down back. Anthony Tracy on a wing, who was a West Coast Eagle rookie. Gary Ablett, of course, 2-time Brownlow medalist. Cam Peterson, who's recently played for Melbourne and North Melbourne. So there's some big players there for Palmerston. I think we said two Nichols medalists.
Yeah, Eric Guthrie and Phil Wills, both Nichols medalists. One is Eric Guthrie is actually the current Nichols medalist. But Palmerston have been one of the big improvers, and they've really held it together. The other thing about Matty Stokes, of course, is that he is a Palmerston junior.
Yep.
And his father, John, was heavily involved with the club for many, many years before they became Palmerston and North Darwin. Over at St Mary's, though, that St Mary's side has been steadily improving. They opened up the season with a shocker against Waratahs, but since then they've climbed back. They've won 2 of their last 3. Unfortunately, one of those was a bye, but they have they've won 2 of their last 3, and the third was actually a bye. So they've actually improved out of sight. So whilst they may not have some big names on paper, they might be the people that will go under the radar.
Yeah, absolutely. I think St Mary's is still really yet to hit their straps this year. Obviously, they're the reigning premier as well. And for me, I think of the regular players, obviously we've got a pretty special player in Palmerston colours tonight. But for me, Jackson Calder, when he turns it on, is the best player in the competition. He'll be playing at full forward and really yet to hit his straps as well. We're just looking in the middle of the ground now. We've got the coin toss, Eric Guthrie and Nate Paredes. And it looks like Eric Guthrie has won, and he's pointed towards a Michael Long centre, so Palmerston will be kicking to left of screen and St Mary's kicking to right.
Just want to make some point about the umpires too, because you'll notice that there are 4 umpires in the middle tonight, and they are actually AFL umpires. They're Lee Hassan, he's wearing number 5, Hayden Gavin, who's wearing 14, John Howarth, who has actually umpired up here over a couple of seasons, is a mentor to young Emma Stark, who umpired in the AFLW and was the youngest debut at that level. And then Andrew Heffernan will wear number 29. So if you see the 4 out there today, it's because that they are actually looking at implementing that into season 2023 inside the AFL. Our boundary umpires tonight are locals, Jade Ferry, Cooper Rainey, who has actually been umpiring in the AFLW, and Darian Blair, all very experienced, done grand finals. And in goal, we've got Stuart Whittaker and William Wood.
So as the players head out to their positions, just like to get your final tips tonight, gents.
Mate, I think St Mary's. I just think Palmerston with Eddie Betts and Varco out there, the 2 leading goal kickers for the year. So Betts has kicked 15. He's 3rd on the goal kicking tally at this stage. Varco's kicked 7 and he's 16th. With those 2 out, I know they got Cam Peterson coming in. I'm going to go St Mary's. I'm going to go St Mary's by 26 points.
Wow, that's a big call, Clint. I'm going to go Palmerston, primarily because there is actually a Geelong connection in the locals, which is Baxter Mensch, who is playing for Palmerston. I think he's going to link up really well with Gary Ablett Jr., who's actually started on the midfield. So I'm going to go Palmerston, and I think it might be around about 18 points.
The journalist in me is going for Palmerston and Gaz to kick the winner on the siren. Palmerston by 3 points. So we're about to get underway here. I'm just looking for Gaz at the moment. He's on the wing.
He's on the far wing, centre wing, on the far side.
So I reckon that's Salmon that might have him.
Yep, it is.
Good experience for the young local product.
We love it live. All right, first bounce. Friday night footy standalone game. That's Gibbison up against Smith. Comes down there to Lance. He throws it on the boot forward. Ball goes to 50. Tap there by Chloe Hesse. Tracy through traffic does well. Runs his full measure. Drills it to a one-on-one inside 50. That's Matty Stokes. He gets a tap there. There's a nest of Magpies there. Picked up by the ruckman Gibbonson. And Gibbonson fires a long shot at goal to the pocket. And Matty Green down there gets a fist on that. That's his bread and butter. And we have a boundary thrown in the forward pocket.
Yeah, Matty Green comes up from Tennant Creek to join the St Mary's.
Yeah,
St Mary's side
Tennant
every
Creek
week.
Catherine, I think.
Yeah,
Catherine.
So you know, Tennant Creek's sort of 1,000 kilometres away south of Darwin as they come back in. And Oborn is up straight away against Pedersen. Punch forward. Off the bench was Bench. Off his hands, but it's gone through for a point. Early score on the board for the Magpies. What do you think of that, Will? Pretty quick hands.
Yeah, pretty quick hands. Palmerston have had the ball in their forward half so far tonight, so looks like they've started pretty well. Now coming out of half back, though, is St Mary's, and it's with Long. He's pressured well, but he kicks it forward into the middle of the ground. Oborn the target, picked it up on the half volley. Hands now come across again. Paredes, he kicks it forward. Good mark there. I think that one was from Grenfell. He goes inside forward now. And that's a great mark inside 50.
And that's Braden Grenfell that's taken that.
Grenfell.
Came into the side about 4 weeks ago for St Mary's, and when they lost Toa in the ruck, he took over, and have a look how heavily strapped his left leg is. So he took over in the ruck after an injured ruckman.
He's a big fella. He should drill this.
He should. Walks in now from about 35 metres, kicks it, and Saints get the first one on the board. So first blood goes to the men in green and gold. They lead by 5 points 2 minutes into this one.
Well, they went coast to coast there. Don't know that Palmerston actually got a hand on it that whole time, and run through the midfield. So Palmerston's just going to have to be a bit alert to that and a bit of a wake up to that, because they can match them up height up forward. And Grenfell mixed in with Jackson Calder gives them a potent forward line, particularly in the air. And we all seen Calder, the number 24 for St Mary's, taking contested marks. We come back into the middle. And Gibbison up against Ryan Smith from Saints. Smith wins out. Good hands. Gibbison, though, left foot. Sends it up to centre half forward. Stokes sets himself forward. Wills is in there. The Nichols medalist can't pick it up. Punched out. Ooh. Oh, coming through with body. No one got collected. Umpire was in there. Free kick's been found. Someone got lapped around the legs. And it'll come back out. Not a great kick. Turnover there. Loose on the ground. Can't pick it up. That was Ling. Here they come. Ablett with his first possession. Gives a handball over to Guthrie. Guthrie's kick is intercepted, and Saints will pick it up. And there's a free kick after disposal. Plucked
one there, Ash. I think it was a good call. He clearly got impaired when he kicked that, pushing the back.
We might see a replay, but that was Guthrie with the push in the back after disposal. But the Ablett with the first touch, Will, and that's bringing his teammates into the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't get as much of a roar from the crowd as I thought he might. It was a bit of a quick one in the pack, so they might not have quite seen it was him until it was too late. But good to see him getting involved, and I think, he'll just slowly build into the game. He's had 2 years off, so we'll see how he goes.
All right, Guthrie. He's going to kick from about 40 out. Not much of an angle. Left foot, sits it up high, and he's put it straight through. And Palmerston's on the board for their first, and Guthrie gets his first. Here we go. We'll just have a look at this free kick, Will.
So, yeah, definitely there. Looked like it was Joe Salmon who gave a push in the back to him. And he's a Nichols medalist from last year. We know he's very talented. He kicked the sealer a few weeks ago against the Darwin Buffaloes as well. So a goal-kicking midfielder, always very handy to have. And first goal on the board for Palmerston goes to Guthrie, and Magpies in front by 1 point.
So, boys, Ablett starting on the wing. Did we expect that? I personally didn't. I thought, with a couple of Palmerston small forwards out, I thought he might push forward and they'll try and use him to hit the scoreboard. But on the wing out there, on the far wing, on Salmon, Gibbonson after it. Mensch is in there. Little handball to Gibbonson. He goes there to Nason. He can't grab it. Gibbonson, Lance there. Little handball there to Yaron. He can't pick up. Chloe Hesse goes in. He can't pick up. Coming through there is Jellyman Turner. He's met hard by Guthrie. Guthrie does all the hard stuff and will do it from first bounce to last bounce. in saying that. He's given one away there. He doesn't necessarily agree, and it's going to be a free kick there to Jellyman Turner.
Jellyman Turner, Premiership player, comes in. He's just set it up high. Contest. Whistle has gone. Has the whistle gone? Yeah, it has. Bit of a nudge out. Jackson Calder will take the kick. Grenfell is giving him a target. It's going to just go over his head, but just dropping in front there was Boyle. Because I think it's Jay Boyle. We'll just wait for him to turn around. And no, in fact, it was
Smithson.
It was Smithson, but he just dropped there in front of the leading Grenfell.
Ablett making his way to the bench now for an early spell.
Well, he's done well, Ablett, to last the first 5 minutes.
Still adjusting to the heat up here.
As we have Smithson coming in. Chance to put the Green Machine's second goal on the board. Looking for a little bit of distance. He's pushed it left and through for a point. So Saints just go to 1-1, scores a level.
All right, 6 minutes gone in this first quarter. Ashton Hams, he plays the quarterback role for Palmerston. Palmerston, the Maggies, will try and get it in his hands as much as possible. He's a beautiful user of the footy. He goes out wide, that's no exception, and Mensch dropping behind his direct opponent there, Paredes, takes the mark on the half-back flank. He goes in board, overcooks the kick. Matty Green's there, little handball back. I think that was Cook, goes in the middle, big climb there by Guthrie.
Yeah.
Umpires paid a push, and I think, again, that was the correct call. He used his hands to get up there, which you're not allowed to do. You've got to use your legs or your knees. So that's going to be a free kick there to, I think, at St Mary's. Goes a little one down the middle. Didn't go really well, but comes to Smithson. Smithson drives a long kick from 51 metres out. And well done to St Mary's. They get their second. They move to 2-1-13. Palmerston 1-1-7. And we've gone 7 minutes in this first quarter.
Great work from Smithson there. He was intercepted by his Palmerston opponent, but had enough composure to pick the ball up, turn around, assess his options, work out he was in a bit of space, run to 50, and then he loaded up and banged it home for goal. Well,
I've got to say to you, Firthy, you might be on the money here with Saints. They might be under the bit of the radar here.
Count our chickens too early. But
No.
You said it in the warm-up, Ash. They're getting better, and they're getting better each week. And I looked at their team on paper, and I thought they're really coming together. And yeah, just a few out for Palmerston, but I think we're still going to get a cracking game of footy.
Back in the middle. Smith just overruns it. They both overcook it, and it comes to Pedersen. He has to turn all the way around. Smithson is in there again, last goal kicker. He gets grabbed, thrown to the ground, let go. Play on is the call. Just let him run. Ball's loose on the ground now. It comes out. In there is Nason. Quick hands out for Palmerston Magpies. Upended was Closey. Punched over the hands was Jellyman Turner. Smith comes in there. Farah comes in, can't get it. Bit hot the handball. Jellyman tries to turn it off. This is Farah. Farah with a quick handball over the top. That's Josiah. Comes back to Closey. Steps around one. Now he's looking for his teammate, and it's gone out of bounds. And it was Farah that dragged it out. Josiah Farah moving up from half forward. Good contest.
Yeah, getting involved, Farah. He can play a bit of everywhere, in the middle, up forward, half back even. Looks like he's playing a little bit in the middle tonight and finally got his hands on the ball there.
So boundary umpire launches in. Smith will give that one to him. Goes to the front there. Lampton's there. He can't pick up. Salmon's dispossessed. Yaron, he's wrapped up there by Harvey. Crowds scream ball. Guthrie gestures ball with his hands. Umpire says, I'll have it and throw in. Just a quick one, guys. Matty Green playing for St Mary's and Andrew Green playing for Palmerston. So both brothers. In 2018, Matty Green was highly touted from the NT to get drafted. He was the best draft prospect. Essendon looked really, really close at him, and he was a whisker away from getting drafted. His younger brother Andrew playing in a back pocket there for Palmerston. He went down to the Oakley Chargers last year from Tennant Creek. Unfortunately did his shoulder in the pre-season, so he's just got his shoulder good and he's back at it now. So good luck to those brothers playing against each other.
As the ball comes up, setting themselves under there was Musgrove, couldn't get it. Saints though might have the run. Yaron against Closey, bit of a push and shove and a hold, and picked up there by umpire Howarth, and it'll be Nicky Yaron who has the opportunity to send Saints inside that forward 50. So Saints really putting the effort in. They might be a bit of, it might play in St Mary's favour, the fact that no one's been talking about them all week. As Yaron sends it up, looking for Grenfell in a contest. Punched away from him, falls to the ground. Still loose on the ground. No one can get it. It's dragged in, though, by the Saints player. And the umpire says, give it to me and I'm going to ball it up and restart play. And it's only about 25 metres out from the St Mary's goal.
Grenfell, nice body work, gets it down. Smithson tries to get round Guthrie. That's a tough task. Contested possession there. Well done by the big fella Grenfell. He went back for a second effort. Squirts out the back. Quick chain of handballs. Comes out of Lambton. He better get rid of it. He got dragged after he got rid of that. Could have perhaps been a free kick. As Groves says hello to his direct opposition there from St Mary's. And we'll get a boundary throw in 35 metres around from Palmerston's goal. So that's big Grenfell up against Gibbison. From the back, Lance there really went hard at it there, Wills. And umpire judged too hard. He's plucked a free kick out of that. And it's going to give St Mary's a shot at goal.
I want to see that on replay, Firthy. If we can see that on replay, I want to see how that goes. Willsy must have just collected him slightly high then. I didn't see the signal, but he certainly hit him with good body, didn't he?
So that's Lance. He's a gun for St Mary's, averaging 30 disposals a game. Comes around on the left foot. He's not a massive kick and
touched on the line.
Touched on the line by Aston Hams, who's not a massive man. So probably didn't hit it well. As I said, we just get a little bit of rain here at TIO Stadium, Friday night footy.
Comes back out, punched away. Here they go again, Palmerston. Trying to get it. Oh, he got taken high in the tackle there. And it was Hillier who was Agriculture. Now they're going to play it out. Here comes Closey. Closey, been also an avid possession getter for the Palmerston Magpies so far. On to Patrick. Patrick back over the top. Here it comes to Harvey. Harvey looks up. He's got options if he wants them. Ablett's there, using his body, worrying his teammate out, but it's sharked off the pack there by Green. And there was a free kick, though. It was found. It went to the young Bowden. And he is a relative of the famous Bowden family, Joel, who played at the Tigers, Richmond Tigers. As they run it away, handball over to Smith. This is Jellyman Turner. Oh, and the young Bowden probably just demonstrated. No, it wasn't Bowden, it was young Cook. Probably a little bit of inexperience there, a little bit lackadaisical on that kick over.
So boundary throw in. Crowds building. A lot of this grandstand at TIO filled up, except a few front rows. Tiny bit of rain earlier in this quarter. A little bit of rain a couple of hours before the game. Nice chain of handballs there, Smithson. He goes to Cook. It's a one-on-one inside 50. That's Parry versus Grenfell. Grenfell's first to it. Spins around on the right boot. And running on there was, that was Bo Tedcastle. Actually had a good chance then to grab that and run into an open goal. He missed it.
Good pressure from Palmerston there.
Yeah, but do you reckon he ran into his teammate there, Will?
I think he might have, yeah. They just sort of got in the way. Probably not as much communication as you would have liked from your forwards there. Bo Tedcastle will have a lot of eyes on him tonight. Obviously, he's a talented draft prospect heading into the AFL draft later this year.
Pedersen steals front position. Land, hurried kick. Cleaned up, though, by Closey. Hurried kick again, but Saints are there, and it's Paredes, the skipper for the St Mary's side. He's looking, he's got Calder. Ignores him, goes in short, and picks out Hillier, who gave away that free kick earlier. He's now got a chance to make amends. Within his range, do you reckon, Will?
He seems confident. Looking at him, he's going back. He'll be kicking from just outside the paint when he gets onto it. Not a bad kick.
No.
Offline, though, well offline.
Yeah, he probably wanted to put too much onto it there. It certainly had the distance, didn't have the accuracy. He's probably trying to kick too hard.
So the ball brought back in there by Palmerston. Kick across the back line. And the mark there taken by Peterson. Ablett ran hard then, spread from the contest. With him was Jellyman Turner, but he got 5 metres on him. So that's Ablett's. We got him down for
second touch of
the game. We've got a bit of a Gary Ablett tracker going here. Will's onto it. So we'll keep you guys up to date with what we think, how many possessions you've got. Palmerston has switched here. They've done this well. And they've found some space on the outer side. That's Harvey. He's a hard runner off half back. That's a beautiful kick down there. Matty Stokes couldn't grab it. He's first back to it. He's there with Will Farrer. Ball stays in. Thought the St Mary's player thought it was going to go out. In fact, the St Mary's player was right. The ball did go out. Boundary umpire says, give it to me. And we'll have a boundary thrown on the outer side.
What do you think of that, Will? I thought Matty Stokes judged that really well in the air, falling backwards. I thought he was going to mark that for a moment there.
He's been an okay flyer in his career at the AFL, so it doesn't surprise me he's not bad in the air. He just doesn't have the height attribute with him.
We all know what that's like. As the ball comes down, Grenfell's locked it up. It's going to be thrown up. And Grenfell, again, proving to be a bit of a workhorse. And so is Smithson, by the way. They're both very mobile. Jay Boyle's in there. Grenfell gets a bit of a nudge out. Loose on the ground. Picked up. Sent inside the 50. Flyer is going to be Gibbison, resting in the forward line. He leading that race to the ball, though, is Farah, Will Farah. Everyone's appealing. Is it deliberate? And it's going to be paid. Oh. And it'll go to Palmerston. So a deliberate out of bounds there will be paid against the St Mary's defender. I didn't pick up who that was, Will, did you?
It was Matty Green, boys, and I reckon Will Farah's got the kick.
All right, so Will Farah will go back and have a kick. He's got a really tough angle. He's only about 15 out. He runs around, puts it on the boot, but it's going to go through for a point.
And just a reminder, you're here watching AFL&T's coverage of the 22-23 TIO NTFL season.
So it's a 6-point ball game. St Mary's up by 6 points. Parnell didn't waste any time bringing that in. Paredes and Tracy went at it on the outer side. Ball kicked inside 50. But only as far as Parnell. So just a little bit of drizzle out there. So ball perhaps getting a little bit slippery.
Jacob Long.
Very humid at this time of year as well. So this ball can play as almost a wet weather footy sometimes. These guys handle it amazingly well. Jacob Long from the back pocket goes down there to Grenfell, and he's been best on ground by a country mile in this quarter. Great grab. Probably not the best handball. Goes to his captain Paredes. Paredes a little pitching wedge over the top. And the mark there taken by Boyle. Boyle looks inside, he uses that well. He goes to Smithson. Smithson drills one down there to Calder. It was a magnificent kick, inviting him to the footy. And that was almost millimetre perfect. Calder swings around on his left, sees an open goal square. He got his hands taken. That was Paredes. So Paredes has run from half back, bolted down to full forward there. Guthrie's gone with him. And he chopped the arm, so it's a good call by the umpire. It was clear as a whistle. Guthrie might want to argue, but he's got nothing there. Well, that's how I saw it anyway. And St Mary's are going to drill this. Look, he's gone, Paredes will. He ran that hard there forward and well spotted by Calder.
He started back here on half back, just to the left of the commentary position there, right equal with the back of the square. Yep. And he's ended up in the full forward square.
And you can tell he's digging in the deep ones. Well done, Nate Paredes. That's a skipper's goal. And we've almost gone 18 minutes in this first quarter. It's Palmerston 1-8, trailing St Mary's 3-20.
Seems like there's a lot of pressure out there, boys. I think both sides can really sense the occasion. There's a big crowd, a bigger crowd than you'd usually have, on a standalone fixture on a Friday night, even here in Darwin. And definitely feels like it's translating. It's been a bit of a scrap for me so far. Best plays, as you said, Clint, probably Brandon Grenfell's been best on. I've also liked Smithson's work, and Paredes, the captain for St Mary's. For the Magpies, Eric Guthrie, the captain there, he's been best on for them so far for me. And the two captains lining up on each other in the middle there.
Gibbison will play Smith. Gibbison back in the ruck, just let Smith go. Picked up by Lant. Lant on the left foot. Smithson tries to nudge it out, but coming through was his teammate in Musgrove. Musgrove sends it up looking for Calder in a contested mark. Couldn't quite get it. Wharf was in there. Loose on the ground. They're diving on Calder, locking it up. Guthrie has made all his way down to help his teammate out. And Wharf will be the last one up off the ground. Umpire will throw it up. And Calder will go up against Gibbison. Still trying to pick it up there on the ground is Guthrie. And they'll restart it again, trying to open up some space. Calder says, I'm going this time. And Gibbison nominating. Calder just out the back, though. There it is by Nason. Over the top they go. Flyer at the back was Oborn, couldn't pick it up. Jellyman turn an underground handball to Salmon. Salmon from St Mary's has it on time, has it on foot, sending it up, but it's coming through as Closey. 2 bites, takes the mark, settles it down for the Magpies.
Yeah, great mark. He's been sensational. Played NAB League under 16s. He's come across for his first season in the NTFL. He goes wide there to Nason. He goes down there to Ablett. Parnell put a nice little block on behind the ball there.
It was clever.
It was clever. That just allowed Harrison Ling to drop in. Geez, Ablett on Ling, you wouldn't like that, boys, from tagging days. That bring back nightmares for Gary. So he's playing in a 4 pocket at the moment. Last time we checked, it was Parnell manning him. Oh, Gary's lurking here. Lucky they had numbers. Matty Green, he's always clean. Little chip in the middle, and that may be Jellyman turn. He's got a beautiful kick. He's going to launch one long down there. Calder's going to go, and that's with a wet footy. He's just plucked that. The full back there didn't do too much wrong. Good grab to Calder. And they're getting on top here, St Mary's, as we enter red time in this first quarter.
As you mentioned, Ablett, he's moved to that forward line. He's been playing a little bit on young Ethan Bowden, and Kieran Parnell is looking to go at him when he's deep in that forward line. Sort of playing a forward pocket at the moment. Looks like he'll be crumbing he's smaller than him, but Will Farrell's got a fair leap on him.
So Calder kicked 5 in the GF last year, won best on ground. Oh, God, he could have...
He was right in front there.
Yeah, that was only 20, 25, 30 metres out directly in front.
That's not like him. He's far more accurate. I think he was the leading goal scorer last year in the NTFL. As it comes out to Closey. Closey looks up and doesn't have a huge number of options, although if he wants him, he does have Jonty Patrick. He's also got Ryan Wharf. He's going to go longer than that. He's looking for Phil Wills. Oborn comes across, takes a good mark, had 2 bites at it, couldn't control it. In there is Paredes. Wills again, quick hands out to Baxter Mensch. Mensch's kick is chopped off. Ablett Jr. Turns and spins onto his left, over the top to Giverson. The crowd gives it an applause for the reward for the effort, and Giverson has a chance to go back and kick Palmerston's second goal.
Look at all the young fellas on the bench just clapping. They're massive, the rise in the crowd when he touched the ball then, and just classic Ablett. Well done.
And gee, that line turn brings back good memories, doesn't it?
Not for opponents.
No, not at all. For us fans, it's just something that we can remember from yesteryear and enjoy today.
Giverson comes in. Well, if the Magpies need anything, they need a goal as we're into time on. Approaching the 22-minute mark here at TIO Stadium in Darwin. Giverson's kick's pretty good, straight through the middle. And the Magpies get their second.
And it's definitely a Magpie army here tonight. The Ablett effect is swaying on the crowd too. Much bigger cheers for them than going the other way for St Mary's. But there's a lot of star power out there. As we mentioned, 6 listed AFL players I think we've tallied in the end. 5 of them have played, plus that rookie in Treacy. And very good to see Palmerston making contest to this. They reduced the margin back to 7 points, 22.5 minutes into the first quarter.
So no win to speak of here. Guthrie from Palmerston won the coin toss. He chose to kick to the left of screen. Pretty unusual, to be honest. The flags are actually dead. It's just dripping down a little bit of rain, and that corner of my eye coming from the airport end, just seen a bit of thunder there, a bit of lightning, so hopefully that stays away. Well done there, goes to Cook. Cook through traffic, throws it on the boot, 2 centre half forward. Wharf's there, coming over the top there was Clay Hesse. Hams aims to the boundary line. Umpire's only going to have one option here. He has to ping him. No. Oh, well that went at right angles. I've seen a lot worse than that paid.
Well, I think it was because he was under pressure, held the whole bit. I don't know.
Okay.
John Harvey made a good effort to get pretty close to as it rolled over the boundary line there. I'm not sure if the umpires looked at that at all.
A for effort. As Smith comes in against Pedersen, big body, both of them. Baxter mentions there, had his hand over the top, over the shoulder of Smithson. Couldn't quite get it. Punch forward, Harvey just punches it forward. They want to keep it rolling, and Jacob Long from the famous Long family guides it over the boundary line.
So not too much long left in this first quarter. We're ticking through 24 minutes now. A 7-point lead to St Mary's as the boundary umpire comes in, and right on cue as she releases, the siren for quarter time goes, Will.
Yeah, so it's St Mary's with the early lead, 3-3-21, a 7-point lead over Palmerston Magpies, 2-2-14. Just run you quickly through the goal scorers. First blood went to Brandon Grenfell, Josh Smithson and Nate Paredes have also kicked goals. Meanwhile, Eric Guthrie, the Palmerston captain, he's chipped in with the goal, as has Ben Gibbison. A lovely goal assist there from Ablett. And looking at Ablett watch, he's got 2 kicks and 1 handball so far. Hopefully he can pick up a few more later in the game here, but we'll just have to keep watching and enjoy the show. We'll be back after this short quarter time break.
To the footy this afternoon here at TIO Stadium. To the left of your radio they go.
Wow, what a goal to start the game.
Beautiful. Goes for home and has nailed an absolute rip-snorter. From the pocket, and he's kicked an absolute ripper.
You're watching AFL's coverage of the 2022-23 TIO NTFL season from TIO Stadium here in Darwin. It's round 8 action between Palmerston St Mary's and of course it's the Ablett Show. About to get underway here in second quarter. I'm Will Zwar. With me calling tonight is Clinton Firth and Ashley Manakaros. And just getting the final crowd members, the kids having a kick at quarter time off the field before we get underway here.
They were swarming the oval, weren't they, Will? There were kids everywhere and the crowd's full, and that's the whole big thing. And they're wearing a variety of AFL football jumpers on their teams and local NTFL ones as well.
Ablett to start this quarter in the forward line. We get underway.
On Parnell, Ruckman go up. We'll give that one to Smith. Comes down there. That was Farah. Gets a handball there to Mensch. That's good. Gives a nice handball back to Andrew Green. He's usually a good user. That was read there like a book by Salmon. He did well. Handball there knocked free. Could have been not a correct disposal. Umpire says play on. The jumper of the St Mary's player was being held there. Umpire spotted it. That's a good decision. And that's going to be a free kick there to Ted Castle. Tries to play around Wharf. Wharf says, you ain't getting around me. And that's sensational there from the Palmerston junior product. He's come all the way through the ranks. And he wins the free kick there to Palmerston and chips out wide there to Green.
Green goes in short looking for his teammate and picks him out beautifully. And that's... In fact, that's not Gary. That's Andrew Tracy.
You all right?
No, I am. That was Tracy. He just didn't have any glasses on. As Tracy comes in, puts it back in the middle, Guthrie just snaps it out of the air and then swivels quickly onto his left foot as he's done so many times. Sends it up looking for Will Farah. That's Will Farah. Bouncing there. In there was Gibbison. Gibbison can't pick it up. Gives it back to his teammate. There's still a show here, Palmerston. Coming through with a huge hit was Farah. And he ran past the football. Oborn's come in and belted him. And don't know that that's going to make anyone happy.
I think if you pay the first one, you've got to reverse it perhaps. But
don't know. He's not done that. But certainly it's come back out. And Saints will run out through Green. Michael Green with a handball over to Jellyman Turner. Jellyman Turner looking for Yarra. It's punched away. Sorry, Clint. What I was getting at is that the free kick was because he ran past the ball and took out Oborn, but you're right, Oborn's
basically come back and done the same thing. So you've got to pay the first one, you've got to pay the second one.
He needs to be careful there. Oborn's not known for being cool, calm and collected, so he just needs to watch his temper.
No, I think that the umpire was like, let's just get this on. Yeah. Let's just get it on rather than reverse it.
Umpire launches in. Yeah, Smithson went for that. He never nominated for the ruck. That's silly. That wasn't Smithson, sorry. That was Boyle. He never nominated for the ruck, so that's going to be a free kick there to Palmerston. That's Peterson, the ex-North Melbourne and Melbourne player. Goes there to Guthrie, sets a task for him. He's got a strong body, gets rid of Salmon, gives it to Tracy. He goes to 47. Long kick to the line there. Farah goes back. Jeez, he could have killed himself on the post there. He will take mark of the century one day, fellas. He is a freak.
We're only early into this century, by the way.
And he played down in Catherine and took an absolute freak of a mark. And I've seen him do 5 or 6 up here, so... Good effort, Will.
As Jellyman Turner comes out, it's going to bounce away from all of his teammates and go out of bounds, but it's been touched and the ball will be thrown in. Well, he's dived back. If he had have not touched it, as we can see some rain falling here at TIO Stadium up in the tropics, if he had have let that go, that was definitely going to go through. As we go back live now and we see Oborn up against Gibbison. Coming through is Josiah Farah with hands. It's punched out though. It's loose on the ground. Race to the ball. Trying to get a hold of it there was Andrew Green. It's picked up though by Lant. Lant from St Mary's just sticks it on the boot. He wants it out of there. Bouncing Hillier. Hillier gives it off to Calder, who turns back around onto his right looking for Braden Grenfell. He's got to pick up a bouncing ball, which he does. Gets out of trouble. Then he goes back to Hillier. Hillier can't quite get it cleanly. Diving onto him was Guthrie to wrap it up. And it's centre half forward for St Mary's. The ball will be thrown up.
So umpire asked those players to nominate. 2 St Mary's players nominated then. Smith says, I'll have it. Umpire's plucked one for high. Smith does not agree with that. Often he doesn't. It's going to be a free kick there to Peterson. He goes down the wing. It's a one-on-one there. Ablett's lurking. That was Tracy. Gives it to Gary. Gary, beautiful vision over the top to his extra long teammate Stokes. Just a little bit too far out in front of him. Stokes couldn't gather.
Yet to really get into the game, Stokes.
Ball trickles out there, just in front of the St Mary's clubhouse. And I'm sure they'll be enjoying the festivities after this one. And the boundary umpire will launch in.
Ablett will be lurking at this throw in.
Yeah, Stokes, Ablett, Tracy, Gibbison got it down front. Lant came through. Sliding on there was Harvey. Couldn't pick it up. Loose on the ground, the ball will be thrown in again. And it was Baxter Mensch, who we talked about off air at quarter time as having a quiet game by his standards. He's been one of the league's possession getters, seriously solid possession getters since the start of the season. as Gibbison comes in, got it down, Mensch couldn't quite control it.
Well,
stepping around there was very, very nicely, was actually Tracy. Now it's put on the boot. It's going to be bounce and go out, and Oborn was the one that couldn't control it.
You've mentioned Mensch there, Ashley, and another subplot to tonight's game is Dylan Lamp versus Baxter Mensch, St Mary's player and Palmerston player. 2 guns, and their stats for the season are almost on par. 123.4 to 125 average points, game points that is, and a few other stats we'll go through throughout the night.
Yeah, both, and right on cue there, that's Land, goes with a little handball, picked up there by St Mary's into the middle, playing in front there is the St Mary's player, he takes it, Lance run on, so there's 2 possessions in 10 seconds for him. He hits up a little one, Salmon goes over the top there, and he hits up his teammate there in Bowden. Bowden with the bright yellow boots goes wide. Calder's leading. Dropping back there was Hams. Ball spills to the front there. Paredes is going to be first to it. Feigns on the inside. Goes on the outside. That was a great kick. Great vision. Didn't have too much to go to. Taken by the St Mary's player, and he goes in board, and the mark there taken by Calder. So probably a little bit too easy there, and that's another mark taken directly in front from Calder. And what's that? Will, he's going to line up for his...
He's yet to kick one tonight. He had a couple of shots that are wheeling around, I think a couple of assists as well. But
and points. He's come up with points.
Yet to hit one through the big sticks. What can he do here?
So Calder, he had a kick from a very similar position at the other end of the ground in the first quarter. Makes no mistake with that one. Through for a goal and extends St Mary's lead back to 12 points. We've gone 6.5 minutes in this first quarter.
Well, those ex-AFL superstars not really having a huge impact, but we know that they've brought the crowd with them, and hopefully they can continue to work their way into the crowd, into the game tonight, I should say. Meanwhile, it looks like St Mary's have somewhat shell-shocked the star power of Palmerston. They're leading by 12 points. 7 minutes the way through the second quarter here at TIO Stadium.
Yeah, Pedersen's gone into the ruck, and that's probably what Saints wanted to do. They wanted to jump them early and see what happens, make them play catch-up, which is what they've had to do. Pedersen out-jumps and comes straight back to Nason. Nason's boots smothered off it. Jellyman doesn't worry about trying to pick it up, just trying to sock it on. It's picked up by Paredes. St Mary's skipper punched away. Tracy, quick hands in there. So too was his teammate in Smithson. It's back to Jellyman with a long handball. Goes in short looking for Salmon. Takes it 2 bites, but cleverer to keep it in front of him, and he does. Then he's looking for the leading Calder. Calder got one hand on it, couldn't quite get control. Comes back out to Grenfell. Free kick's been paid, high tackle. The first one was over the shoulder. And Brayton Grenfell for St Mary's will go back and have a shot at goal, about 20 out.
Just worked it very well there, the 2 St Mary's forwards. They were outnumbered there almost 2 to 4, and they've just kept their hands on the ball, kept control without taking possession, worked it to themselves, and Grenfell's been rewarded with the free kick. Bit of an arm over the top of his shoulder.
Those 2 big boys down there look dangerous, Grenfell and Calder. They're dominating this first quarter and a half at the moment.
Very impressed with the confidence of Joseph Salmon as well. He had a 2-on-1, did very well then as Grenfell comes up, and we had a great camera angle there, just slipped off to the right, through for a point. Probably would have been a helpful goal heading into this second term.
So Chloe Hesse, he's got Tracy on the outer side. It's a 2-on-1. It needed to hit him. Tracy's done well to keep that in front of him with the slippery footy. On his left, puts it in front of his vice-captain, Joe Farrett there. Wilkinson got a nice fist in. And I think St Mary's will be quite happy with that ball going out of bounds. We'll get a throw in. So just a little bit of a lull in this one at the moment. She was rocketing end-to-end in the first quarter. A little bit more contested perhaps, partly to do with the rain. Still no real wind to speak of. Flags are pretty similar. Usually goes to the right of screen here, but not at the moment. Mentioned Salmon. Well done there by Salmon. Maybe, I thought he tried to take on one too many. Geez, he says, no, I didn't, and drills one into the middle.
Great.
And mark there taken by Cook. Cook, handballs over there to Smithson. He goes over there to Hillier. Hillier goes a little one there to Lance, and Lance on his left boot, right on the paint for the 50. Goes long down there to Grenfell and Parry. Not sure if Parry got a hand on it. It didn't matter because it went through for a behind. And they look ominous halfway through the second quarter.
Yeah, they did. Great straddle there from the goal umpire, if I can just praise the goal umpire for a moment. But again, we're talking about Joseph Salmon, and what did he do down here on centre wing? Really opened it up, took on 3 as it comes out to Green, using his body well to keep the ball and keep possession and benefit. It was a huge kick out from fullback, by the way. Looking up there to Giverson off his hands. Trying to spoil him was Oborn, and it's gone out of bounds right on centre wing. Will be thrown in.
Ablett, he's been trapped about a kick away from the contest most of this quarter, yet to touch it. Still on those 3 disposals for the game.
Parnell still with him, just out of camera shot there. So looks like when he's going forward, Parnell's his man. What a great opportunity for Kieran Parnell. He was also one of the highly touted juniors.
Hit his knee, unfortunately, in the grand final. As the ball's kicked forward there by Boyle into a contest. Lou Yaron trying to run onto it though. It's going to come out though through Palmerston's fullback Ashton Hams. Over the top, picks out Eric Guthrie. Guthrie slung off the ball, then goes into hands and knees, still can't get it. Closey's in there. Coming out was Groves, Callum Groves, trying to get out of it. And he got pinged high. He got caught high, so he'll be the beneficiary of a free kick, and he goes out wide looking for Tracy.
Tracy down this near wing. Good spread there from Peterson, and he takes the mark. Goes to the little one inboard, and Guthrie takes the mark in the middle of TIO Stadium. A little bit of a nothing kick there, more across the ground. Anyway, they still manage control. Nason's got it. Running forward there, I think that might be Harvey, boys. Yeah,
yes,
Harvey.
John Harvey.
And he's a good runner off half-back. He played a really good game out at Kazali's Arena the other week when I went and watched him. Going to be a tough kick. He's going to be kicking from 50 with a wet footy. No breeze to speak of.
Will Farrell lurking, ready for a big run up and a big fly.
You know, the thing about the Palmerston forward line very quickly before he kicks it is that they haven't got any height without Gibbison there or without Pedersen there.
Yeah. So he ends up kicking from about 48. This is Farah territory, goes from the back. Ball spills. Crumb there by Wharf. Almost got a clear kick at it. Right with him there was his St Mary's defender in Bowden. So well done to him. Effected the kick through for one behind, and Matty Green will bring it back in for St Mary's. Yeah,
just no height up forward. As Green brings it back in, he's got no one to compete against, so he's run his full quota. Then puts it over to Grenfell, who's come all the way down from half forward. He goes back in board looking for that's Lambton. Sorry, not Lambton. That was Cook. Cook goes up forward looking for his teammate in Bowden. Bowden puts it on the boot to a runner, and that runner is Lant. Lant puts it on the left boot, looking to go forward. It's going to bounce out of bounds. Well, gee, he covered some territory as well.
Been lively up forward. He's averaging 1 goal 2 a game, or 1.2 goals a game, I should say, as is Mitch. We'll keep an eye on that matchup throughout the game. He's also averaging 1 score assist a game. Dylan Lant is.
The boundary throw in front of the Michael Long centre down there. Called. No one went up with him. Had a chance to grab it. Not sure what happened to the Palmerston ruckman there. Comes there to land. Gets his left boot to it. Was affected by the tackle. The kick was affected by the tackle. Ball was touched. Umpire says, I'll have it. We'll go again.
Throwing this ball in is young Cooper Rainey, who's been umpiring in the AFLW. One of our up-and-coming boundaries.
He launches in. Nice chuck. The 2 ruckmen there, Gibbonson and Calder. Pick there to Groves. Groves won't mind the wet weather. He's really in and under. Nason, first time we called him, he looks in and under as well. As Jonty Patrick is there. He's wrapped up there by Ted Castle. I saw no prior opportunity. And the umpire says, I'll have it. And we'll go again in this forward pocket.
So just over 13 and a half minutes gone in this second term. And Saints have opened up a gap. 13 points, 4 goals, 5-29, plays 2-4-16. Palmerston looking to get themselves on the board in this second term. Comes back in, Giverson versus Calder. One out by Calder. Couldn't quite pick it up. Was Closey. Comes back out to Lant. In there is Guthrie wrapping Lant up. The 2 midfielders. In there also was Stenning for Saints. Out loose. Picked up. Shot at goal. Looks pretty good from here. I'm just trying to pick up who it was.
Boyle.
And it was Boyle on that right foot with a snap.
Liked it as soon as he kicked it, Boyle did. And why wouldn't you? That was a great goal. Beautiful snap straight through the middle. And kicks his second goal of the quarter. St Mary's extend their lead. It's 5-5-35 to 2 goals 4-16. And they've edged out to a 19-point lead. 14 or almost 15 minutes into this third quarter here at TIO Stadium. And as you know, you're watching AFLNT's coverage of the 2022-23 TIO NTFL season. Round 8 action between the Palmerston Magpies and St Mary's.
Ablett just off for a rest there. Looks at, I wouldn't say ginger. I think he's just asked to get a quick rub, perhaps on the calves, a little bit tight. Doesn't look too bad. So they're rotating him off the bench. Obviously not used to this heat up here, even though it's raining on television. Pretty low throw up there by the umpire compared to the previous ones. One there by Guthrie. He gives it to Peterson. Peterson, penetrating kick forward. Matty Green to the back and Jellyman Turner. That's class and quality there. Jellyman Turner to Green. Oh, Jellyman Turner goes boundary side. Well done here by Palmerston. They've managed to keep this. Picked up there on the left foot across goal. How's this going to bounce? Will Farrell was running after that like a rabbit. He wanted it to stay in. It didn't. Ball goes out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in 20 metres around from Palmerston's goal.
Great pressure there from the Palmerston forwards just to keep the ball there. They were not really looking in a great position there. I think St Mary's had the numbers, but great pressure from the Magpies.
Well, St Mary's had the numbers and the height as it comes back in. Sets it both up. Giberson over to Guthrie. Can't get it out. Mensch running through. Picked up by Paredes for Saints. Puts it outside that 50. Wills is going to pick it up. Runs into his own teammate Groves. Quick hands there came from Bowden. We might get it back. No, Paredes gets wrapped up by Groves and gets taken high in the process. Mensch frustrated. Hands on face. Can't do a trick. Paredes picks himself up, plays on quickly, makes Groves chase him as Paredes goes from half back to half forward off the hands of Farah. Can't get clean hands. In there is Salmon, picks it up this time over to Hillier. Hillier with a little short right foot pass again to Musgrove. Musgrove's in the contest, can't get clean. It's picked up out there of space by the Palmerston defence. It's going to bounce though into the hands of Smithson. Smithson goes backwards through to Jacob Long. Ends up, Geelong's kick is not great. Coming through was Farah. Farah onto Wills. Wills gives it over to Harvey. Harvey with a short pass. Comes in, now looking in there is Giberson, and Giberson's going to be the receiving end of a Matty Stokes pass.
He's going to play on here. He looked in board. Tracy was called for it. This could be the mark we're watching for. Farah there. Good body work by the defender. Comes only as far as Tracy. He spins out on his right boot. Just didn't hit the correct side of the footy that he was looking for just enough. Through to the near side and through for one behind. So it's an even 3-goal ball game. 17.5 minutes gone. St Mary's go down the middle. And mark taken there by Parnell. Green runs on, runs into a nest of Magpies. Therefore, he had to handball to his St Mary's teammate, put him under pressure. They've worked this out well. Comes to Paredes, comes to Salmon, and what they've made absolutely something out of nothing here. Quarter over the back, and St Mary's have gone coast to coast. And Palmerston coach Joshy Heath will not be happy with that. Beautiful play by St Mary's as we're nearing time on in this second quarter.
Yeah, opportunity wasted there for sure for Palmerston. It's turned into a 2-goal play for St Mary's. Treacy really should have taken more time. He actually ran there from about the centre of the ground. He could read the play and see that Palmerston were going to get it forward, and he's just worked his way down, absolutely run his little guts out, and he's just sprayed it in front of goal. St Mary's, meanwhile, on the rebound, too quick, too fast, too good, and Calder, he's kicked his second. They extend the lead out to 24 points.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but Palmerston really have no height up forward, and the resting ruckman is it. Farah can leap, but it's about the delivery, and Saints just all over him at the moment. Not only that, they're running right through the middle of their midfield. One out by Smith, can't get his hands onto it. Now it comes out to Paredes. Paredes on to Lant. Lant leading from the front. Nason with quick hands, and then there's a sling, and it'll go against Palmerston. And it'll go to Dylan Lant, who after disposal got slung. The umpire was right there. There's Lant looking for Salmon. On the lead is Calder, getting out of his way with Salmon. Calder takes a chest mark.
And he's playing on Leonard Marlin, who's played waffle footy down there for Perth. He's an absolute gun. I think he's playing his second game up here for the season, so he's not an easy defender to beat. He played a few games for Palmerston last year. He's played league for Perth, and he's a good matchup for Calder, but Calder's showing him a fresh set of heels at the moment, and he's been dominant inside that forward 50.
It's hard to defend delivery like that as Calder comes in and from 48 metres sets it up and just pushes it to the right.
25-point margin, St Mary's building. Palmerston really needs to get a move on. It's not a huge margin, but a couple more goals and it might get unreachable.
So Palmerston with only 3 players in their forward half, Gary Ablett being one of them. Parnell still every step of the way with him. Congrats to Parnell, he's done a good job so far. Hams took a while to deliver that, affected the kick, almost went straight up in the air under the scoreboard out there. Jellyman Turner won over the top. He goes to Hillier and he's wrapped up immediately there by the Palmerston player. Umpire right on the spot says I'll have it. 53 metres around from St Mary's goal. Umpire balls up, give it to Smith. Paredes really come into this game in this second quarter. Him and Lant, their 2 gun midfielders, have really put their foot on the floor and flexed a bit of muscle. He's wrapped up there by the bigger Peterson, was never getting out of that. Umpire says we'll go again.
Yeah, Saints on the attack. Can't get it as Wills. Dragged over, they really dragged Groves over. Now it comes to Closey. Closey has a chance to ease some pressure. They're all flying at the back. Jacob Long is going to be the first to the ball, picks it up. Ablett closes in on him, comes back to a teammate and then lands in the hands of Parnell, who's left Ablett. Parnell goes back to Jacob Long on his feet. Long just goes in short to Oborn. Oborn has time to look inboard again and he just picks out Yaron. Delivery like that is perfect. Yaron on the lead. He's got Calder again. He's got a yard on Marlin. Can't quite get to him. And in fact, it was Closey and he's been pinged because he put the ball on the ground and Palmerston can come out of it through Hams.
And as they do, always give it to their quarterback. Aston Hams goes wide. And the mark there taken by Farah. Running hard for him there is Peterson. He had a few metres there on Smith. Kicked in favour. Jellyman Turner was under the fight of that. It was a judged interference and we'll get that free kick. Doesn't look in too much of a hurry to move it on. They'll be quite content, St Mary's, to go in at half-time with this lead, I believe. 25 points currently. Kick misses the target. Back there to Farah. Spins on a dime, keeps it in. Little one inboard. And the mark there taken by McMahon. The 22 minutes gone, probably not too long left. We went 24 minutes in the first quarter. Ablett's lurking there, 2-on-1. Fist over the back there by Oborn. Spills to the Palmerston player. Oh.
Yeah, he got ridden into the ground there. So Stokes, and I've got to say to you actually, Stokes was a little bit unlucky there because the Saints player Oborn put the ball on the ground after the free kick was awarded. But anyway, that's half time.
And it is St Mary's who will go into this one with a 25-point lead at 6-6-42 to Palmerston 2-5-17. Just quickly on to Ablett watch. Don't think he added a disposal to his tally that quarter. I didn't take any. He got a little tackle, but still waiting for him to really explode. He seems to have lost a little bit of pace, but still has that famous Ablett agility he displayed in his 357 games of AFL footy. Really keen to see the second half of this one, and we'll be back right after this halftime break. Out the back, now comes out this time to Scott Carlin again. He goes inside 50, Magro the target, rolls around, breaks the tackle. Plenty of time on his left towards goal, and that one has gone through. So spills out, Mitch Taylor didn't have to put some pressure on, paddles it back through. Hope gets a handball out, running onto it is Marcus White, goes towards goal, and it's gone through. Well done to Marcus Whitey, sorry.
Racking up the stats tonight, Scotty Carlin. Looking for Magro. Magro with 2 bites takes the mark.
Lining up for a goal here. Good kick. He's happy with that. This second of the night. And Tars extend their lead, making the most of their opportunities down their end. A good crack at it, but couldn't take it. Running through now is Benulis. Benulis gets her hands out. Carroll running onto it, gets through one. Almost taken high to Morris. Morris running through, kicks a goal, and 2 in a minute. And Tars just making something for themselves here. Got a hand, he copped a bump. Magro, he's kicked that inside forward. Now Hope the target to drop the ball. Big Brody Newman flew. They get it out the back and running into an open goal will be Addy Don't. Just sneaks it through. But the Tars again extend their lead and they're out to a 21-point lead. Then
gets it back. Then goes in short to Carlin. Carlin onto Kirtley Silver. Silver's directly in front, handles over the top to the big Kirby. Kirby takes one step, right foot, snap, and clears the goals, all clear.
From Wheatron, couldn't take the mark, but it's still alive. They get it out now to Sam Brody. Sam Brody to the hot spot. Darcy Hope sitting for it. At the back, socket through, and it has gone through.
Marcus Waddy.
Marcus Waddy kicks his second as well. And Red at best, underneath it, takes the mark. No, he doesn't. It's play on in the hot spot. Waddy gets it out, rolls onto his right, and just drills it through, but a bit too much on it. In fact, he's kicked it. It's gone through. So the first blood of this second half goes to Waratah, coming out of defence from Wanderers. He's taken a few big strong marks in the back half and at half forward even to lock the ball in their forward line. That shot towards goal, it's gone through. What a cracker that was. From the
that was Sammartino.
Intercept from Boyce. He spuns around, kicks it now to a lonesome player, and it's Tyson White again, is it? No, it's Shane Thorne. Just Thorne comes in and kicks their third goal straight over the umpire's head. They move to 3 goals, 11.
Benulis. There's no one in the goal square. Instead, he goes in short and finds Magro.
Beautiful kick there. He had it.
As Magro comes in from 50, it's a big range bomb and will go all the way through.
His 4th of the night. Stokes, he's getting involved too. Hands it back to Robinson. Robinson from outside 50 goes towards goal, and it's gone through. Mitch Robinson with the first goal from outside 50 to start that one. He loves that, and it's another great celebration for Mitch Robinson. That's the AFL star power coming to play. Back in the middle. Mitchell, he gets the hands out to Robinson again. Another clearance. He's been brilliant with the clearances so far this year. That's almost a full forward. Whelan gets boot to ball. It's rolling towards goal, and it's gone through. Mitch Robinson again involved, and Luke Whelan gets the second goal as quick as you like. They've got 2 in a minute. Finds McMahon. McMahon marks it inside 50, but unsure if the distance will be with him. He goes, and that's a beautiful mark there to Neild. First in this one, 17 minutes into the first quarter. Kicks through, and he's like that straight off the boot. Ball goes forward for Buffs. Brew coming in hard, as too was Tom Shot. He's hurt. There's a snap towards goal. It's gone through. Great work there from Tom Clark, and centre half back, as we mentioned. Carter gets the hit down. Getting through, there's Bradley Stokes to the 50 on goal, and it's gone through. Just walk through them as easy as you like. And a bit of an unlikely goal scorer, Bradley Stokes. Ball forward. Stokes has done very well to tap it to himself, evades a tackle inside 50 on goal. He kicks it. Doyle running back, will he get a hand to it? It's just too high. And now it's Jared Stokes with a goal. So the Stokes boys with the last 2 for Darwin. Kicks it to the hot spot. Holt Fitz is roving on his left. He snaps towards goal, over the top. And it's gone through. Great. What a ripper that one was. getting in there as well as Lewis Walker. Ball is tunnelled through a few players. Stokes kept in front of him, runs onto it, rolls around, snaps towards goal. That's going to spin through. It does. He's very happy with that. Gives a bit of an aeroplane celebration as well. So the Buffaloes extend it. It's kicks into the middle of the ground. Couldn't find a target. Running onto it will be Neal. Outpaces Jackson Clark. Kicks it to the run of Trotter. Trotter is in a favourable position. Brown in a rock and a hard place here. Trotter just runs over, snaps and kicks a goal. They definitely needed that one. Smith got in each other's way. Bulk will have another crack. Snaps from the pocket to the hot spot. Goes over the top. Cooper will pick it up. Snap towards goal. And that's gone through.
Brilliantly done there. His first of the evening.
And plenty of time and space. He goes out to Clark. Clark has 2 to beat. He can't. Now McMahon. He goes inside 50. Kicks long towards goal. There's 2 on the line.
Ooh.
It's gone through though. Great work from Damien McMahon.
Mary's forward line. Mary's kicked the ball back inside forward 50. Cameron Isle, where he normally is, in front of the pack. Picked up, running goal, and a goal within the first 30 seconds of the game. And a nice goal to St Mary's there, and that was Sam Fowler. Forward to Overall. Overall's had a bit of it early too. For Nightcliff, push and a shove. Butcher over the back. Mark and goal. There we go. The scores are just about square up. At Nightcliff take the lead. Nicely by hand. Still the scoreboard side. Up to half forward. Now it'll be a race on the ball. Over the top. Mummery this time slips in and puts the Tigers in front. The Tigers are in front. They go. Nightcliff are away. Parnell has been very good. Kicks it up and under. In hope more than anything else.
Exactly. Here's a goal.
That's him again. He's got this. He's got his second. Sam Power, and importantly, an important goal.
But it's St Mary's defence in action right now.
Mummery.
Lovely snap by Mummery, but I think he's...
Oh, no, he's got it.
He's got it.
He's got it. Mummery kicks the goal out of nowhere, really, almost. Rucks. Roves, ball on the ground, in dispute, out to Paredes. Paredes inside, shouldn't have gone inside. Paredes gets back to him, goes out by hand under pressure. Kick on goal, and there we go. Easy as you like.
There's the answer that St Mary's wanted. Very quick.
Sniffs and works the ball forward. Yaron gets the ball out by hand to Hillier.
Oh, he missed a mark then.
Hillier up forward. Picked up by Salmon. And that might be the nailer. That might be the one that puts the nail in the lid of the coffin. Protected area. And this is Polides. Will kick on goal. Needs to kick it. And does. Peter Polides has got the 6th one, but they need a few more, Gray. Nightcliff doing everything.
That's it, is it? No.
Last gasp. There it is. There it is.
There's hands on heads there at St Mary's. Big Ryan Smith there in despair. As John Butcher lines up for what should be, Ian, the winning.
There's the siren. It will be the winning goal if he kicks it. Goal. Vile. Kicks on goal.
He's hooked it.
And missed it.
Yep.
Welcome back to TIO Stadium here in Darwin. You're watching AFL&T's coverage of the 2022-23 NTFL season. Round 8 action between Palmerston and St Mary's. I'm Will Zwar. With me tonight is Ashley Manakaros and Clint Firth. And it is a 25-point lead to St Mary's. Who are some of our goal kickers tonight, Clint?
Yeah, so for St Mary's, there's Skip, Nate Paredes, he's kicked one, Josh Smithson's kicked one, Grenfell's kicked one, Boyle's kicked one, and Calder's kicked two. And for Palmerston, Eric Guthrie and Gibberson are their only goal kickers. So Calder, the only multiple goal kicker on the ground. At quarter time, St Mary's were up by 7 points. They've extended that to 25 points at half time. Only 3 points scored in that quarter there for Palmerston. So a little bit of a worry. Look, they're going to try and run them off their legs, I think, in this second half. St Mary's have been very, very good tonight. They've been very impressive, and it'll be good to see how Palmerston come back after, in my eyes, being comprehensively beaten in that first half. Yeah,
they sort of looked a little bit shell-shocked, and I think a large part of that is because two of those names that you've called out there, Grenfell and Calder, present serious height problems up forward, and Palmerston, when they haven't got a resting ruckman, have a real problem. I just want to talk about the umpires for a moment, if I can. The 4-umpire system and the way we're seeing it operating here, and picked up a couple of free kicks that being on the outside of play, so on what we term in football terms the skinny side, so they're closer to the boundary than they are to the fatter side of the field, and the play is actually running up in the middle, and they're just staying on the outside tram lines. I think if that gets accepted into the AFL next season, it's going to be really interesting, because players really won't be able to get away with some of the sneaky holes and sneaky chops that they have in the past. So, you know, it could be a good introduction into the game.
Sounds like it could be a bit more 360 vision from the umpires. They will have an eye from every angle looking at the contest.
So umpire Lee Howson in there raises the ball, and this is the start of the second half Friday night footy. Will Zwar.
So umpire balls it up. Hit out goes to Pedersen. Got it in there down to Farah. Farah with very quick hands out to Mensch. Ball spills out. Guthrie trying to get all over it, but he's wrapped up by Paredes. Ball still looking to spill out there. Lant got a hand off the ground. Now comes through. Guthrie, a quick spin as he's tackled. Harvey, he got onto it. So too Treacy. Treacy run down. Brilliant tackle there from Nick Yarrett. Play on. Ball comes out to the wing. Finds Salmon. Goes through his hands. Runs onto it in a bit of space, but needs to be careful with it. He wasn't. And they're outnumbered. Diving through his Paredes. Now comes to Josiah Farah over to his captain in Guthrie. Ball comes off his hand. And I think Paredes was very clever play. He's just paddled it back into the hands of John Harvey, and it's come off his legs out on the full. Yeah, no, good call by the boundary umpire there. He's paddled it back, and in fact the umpire's paid a throw. So it came off Harvey, went out of bounds on the full. The boundary called it, but the umpire in control called it as deliberate as Ablett gets his third stat and kick, and then sends it overboard looking for Gibberson, who can run onto it in front of Oborn, and it's got to bounce up right. He gets it. He gets slung around by Oborn. In there is Jellyman Turner for St Mary's, and a free kick has been found, and it's going to go to Oborn. So he was held on the ground after disposal, and Ablett gets his first touch in the third term, and the kick out has come to Stenning. He goes out. Finds Smithson, a long way from home in that back line. Short, sharp kick is intercepted, and Palmerston could be here attacking on the counter-attack. Not to be, though. Goes to Ling. Ling to Jellyman Turner. He takes one bounce back of centre. Gets a hand over the top to the running Paredes. He couldn't take it cleanly. He's tackled by Harvey. Got a very good hand out to Lant. Lant inside 50 to the run of Calder. Calder just using his body. Good work there to get a fist in, but Yarran Hill run onto it, and a big, strong tackle again. Great defensive work there from Andrew Green and from Sam Clohesi. Yeah,
there was a double banger there, Clohesi and Green. It was an aggressive tackle there by Clohesi, but he did well not to get in the back of Yarran there. And it's a good call by the umpire. Play on.
One out there by Grenfell, punches it forward, backs to Mensch versus Yarran. Yarran's a little speedster, trying to push it out. Then there was Land, hands from Farah, kicked off there by Wharf. Up to the hands of Matty Stokes. Picked up though. Here comes Palmerston. Intercepted. Picked up by Salmon. No, he's knocked it forward to Paredes. Paredes puts it on the boot and then picks out Smithson, who has going to go back and have a deliberate shot at goal.
threaded the eye of the needle there, did Paredes.
Gee, he's had a few touches in this first quarter, in this third term.
Actually,
Boyle,
boys.
Oh, Boyle,
yeah,
sorry, my bad.
Look like Smithson, so he's lining up for his second.
On the paint of the 50, he walks in, kicks it very close to the man on the mark, and he's just sprayed that one to the right. Kicking out will be Ashton Hams yet again, their quarterback and former West Coast Eagle player, one of the 5 former AFL players out there. Goes inboard quickly to Klahisi, looks to play on.
He just puts it straight on the boot and up. And it's fine. Wills off to a runner. And that's Tracy. Tracy over to Marlin, and then Giberson back inboard looking for Mensch, and he finds him. Well, he put it up. He had 2 choices there. He had Mensch and he also had Gusford.
Mensch said, I'm taking that. And I think you called it before, Ash. He's been pretty quiet. So one of the most dominant players in the competition this year. His first year in the competition. Has come over from the Eastern States, been absolutely dominant, averaging 30, 31 possessions a game. Usually a beautiful kick. He's going to go over the big Ryan Smith.
Yeah, as he comes in, backs to Mensch. Got a link to the Geelong Cats in the VFL, and Mensch's kick is pretty good. He's on the board. That's giving him some confidence. And, of course, Ablett Mensch, a famous pairing at the Geelong Cats during the 90s and the 2000s early.
There's the Geelong flavour. Matty Stokes, as we said before, he's playing. So probably been a little bit quiet. 200 games for Geelong and 209 goals. But important goal there for Palmerston. I think that's the first goal of this third quarter. They needed it. And, yeah, hopefully a momentum swing. And Mensch on his left boot from 50. Beautiful kick. Still no breeze to speak of. And rain has died down. So good conditions for footy.
Reduce the margin back to 20 points. Palmerston hoping to build on that momentum. Pedersen on Smith in the ruck here. Umpire balls it up. Smith that time down to Paredes. Got a hand out to Lamb. Very quick, very clever. Broke the tackle, kicked it inside 50 with no direction. Smithson at the bottom of it. Couldn't take the mark, but keeps it in front of him. Paddles it forward into the corridor. His teammates hit the deck and won't be clean. At the bottom of that one is Mensch again. Hams, he got the hand out to Wharf. Wharf, a rising star from a few years ago. He now goes out, finds Nason, former Richmond player. He goes over the top, finds Mensch. So Mensch coming alive now. He's gotten about 4 disposals already in the first couple of minutes of this quarter. He goes long across ground to Stokes. Stokes will have to wait for it to come. He spins around, now goes out to Green. Green goes inside 50. Ablett lurking. Mark taken there by Farrer at the bottom of the pack, and umpires paid it.
Yeah, it was Marlin who drilled that in, so he's playing on the tall forward. Started to really get in this game in this last quarter and a half. Has drilled one there forward, and Will Farrer playing full forward today for the Magpies, looking to drill his first.
Yeah, he was just taking a little bit high in that contest. Umpire in a good spot to pick that up.
Yet to kick a goal today. He kicked 4 against the Buffs 2 weeks ago. That one doesn't look great off the boot at all.
No, he stabbed at it, but he's hit the post on the way through, so it came back. He just stabbed at that, Will. It's a goal that they actually needed. Every opportunity they've got to take. 3 goals, 6 plays, 6 goals, 7. 6.5 minutes gone here in the Premiership quarter. TIO Stadium, Jacob Long runs it all the way out. No one touches it. It's going to go out of bounds on the full, and Ablett will get the easiest possession of the night, courtesy of an out of bounds on the full.
Coming up for we've got him down for his 4th kick, guys. 1 handball, 2 marks.
And he plays on quickly. From 55 out, he drops it up to the full forward position, up to the square. Flyer was Giberson, couldn't bring it down. Loose, they try and run it back out.
Gary's here.
Comes over the top, Musgrove.
Hams couldn't take the mark. Tries to collect it now. He's at the bottom of the back pack, just keeping it there. Now comes out the back door to Wharf. Wharf goes to Treacy. Treacy onto Ablett. Ablett hands over the top to Stokes. Stokes snaps forward to the hot spot. Good intercept from Coburn. Couldn't take the mark. Jellyman Turner running through. Ball will again come off the boot, and again that's wide and out on the full. So Palmerston putting the pressure on, keeping the ball forward. Ablett appeals for a short pass from Stokes. Stokes instead goes to Pedersen, and Pedersen takes the mark deep in the pocket, about 35 out.
He's a thumping kick, boys. He can give it a roost.
In the last three passages then, sorry Clint, in the last three passages, every player that's touched the ball is an ex-AFL player.
Don't you love to see it?
Tracy, Ablett, Stokes, Pedersen.
So Pedersen from the pocket, very tight angle, not bad for a right footer though.
No.
Oh.
And that's well offline, out on the full.
Almost in my room at the Michael Long Centre, it missed by that much.
And it'll be Jellyman Turner that's going to restart it, and he goes in short and picks out Matty Green. Mr. Reliable, Matthew Green. He can go across to Jacob Long in the centre corridor, and he does. He's at the top of the goal square. Jacob Long now wants to send it wider, and he does. He's got Oborn, who takes 2 bites, then puts it down on the ground and comes up to Smithson. Smithson to Paredes. Paredes turns, balks, and then he's got to do an up and under, and it's not going to go very far. Play on is the call. Oborn, handball intercepted by Guthrie. Sliding on the ground was Paredes, just drops it on the spot. Picked up by Lant. Yeah, he has. Lant on the left foot to Grenfell, holds his opponent at bay, and then gets one hand and a handball on it. Pretty good play from there. Now it comes back in. Here they go. Jellyman Turner is run off the half-back. Has a bounce from 50. Lines up the goals. It's going to bounce through.
Just got through. Snuck through.
Great run there by Jellyman Turner. He's an offensive half-back flanker as he's making his way back down there now. Great run. Great finish. He was running at full tilt when he kicked that.
And that hurts the Magpies. They've done a lot of work there in this early part of this quarter to get a goal and to keep the ball and the pressure in their forward line. St Mary's as easy as you like. They just run it down, and a half-back gets a goal from 50. Again, Josh Heath just trying to work out what he can do to stem the flow and bring the momentum back on his terms.
Yeah, we're back to 25 points. So we were 25 points at half-time. So we're now almost 10 minutes into this third quarter. They haven't gained anything here, Palmerston. They haven't lost anything either. Ball back in the middle.
And Smith, he gets a hit out again. Came off Paredes and now worked forward to Yaron. Couldn't take it cleanly. There's 3 Magpies around the ball, but they couldn't work out where it was. Lost their vision. Now goes forward for the Saints. But the Magpies are there lurking with numbers. Ooh, little sidestep there from Musgrove. Comes back to Yaron. Yaron into full forward. Calder's lurking. Goes over the top. Clahisi, good work there. Now to Hams. Hams gets a handball back to Wharf.
Good chase.
Wharf, kick as he's tackled. Intercepted there by Grenfell. And it's not beyond him here, but he's looking in the corridor, looking to give it off.
How good was Grenfell's pickup a minute ago there? Just at his toes.
Big fella, long way to go down.
Yeah, cleaned it, got it cleanly, and then gave it off.
So Grenfell, again, just to build on the momentum. They kicked the last one. Be a long way from home here, but it's a pretty good kick.
Oh, boys.
Just falling short. Goes over the top. Ball still alive. And paddled over the boundary line there from Luke Hillier. We'll have a boundary throw in the forward pocket for St Mary's.
Well, for whatever reason, Palmerston can't get enough players behind the ball when there's that quick turnover, as we see Gary Ablett on the screen. Instrumental a little while ago in a goal. And the ball will be brought back in. It's only about 10 or 15 metres around from the St Mary's goal. Calder has got his fingertips on it, loose on the ground. Here it comes. It's picked up there, and it's Lachlan Stenning. Stenning has a ping at goals, and it goes off to the right and through for a point. So the margin just extends again. 3 goals 6. Palmerston trails 7 goals 8. And it comes in, and it's in the hands of Harvey. Harvey goes back to Closey. Closey has got options out wide, and he plays on. Now he's just going to kick it outside that 50 and outside the danger zone. Out there is Pedersen. Couldn't get on it. Jellyman Turner. Wilkinson's over there for St Mary's. Now it comes out. It's got Guthrie there if he wants him. Nason gets a nudge in the back, but it's picked up by Paredes. Paredes sends it in looking for his teammate Lant. Lant wraps up Harvey. Stokes came in. Strong body. Good physical contest. He's still loose on the bouncing away. Hams is in there. Grenfell picks it. Beats one. Handball over the top. Hillier nudged off it by Groves. Coming through was Tracy. Groves got his kick smothered. Loose on the ball. It's going to bounce away in the middle.
Now comes through. Stenning. He picks it up, but he fumbles it. Palmerston going to the middle to Tracy. He's got nothing forward. He's got Pedersen a long way away. He won't get there. St Mary's, they turn it over now. Land, he goes inside 50. In fact, it was Jellyman turn it to the hot spot. Couldn't be taken. Hams, he now gets a handball out. And from Green, outbound now to Lennon. Lennon down the wing. He finds Tracy and Palmerston. They've got a player on. He doesn't turn quick enough. It's Mensch. He goes there now.
Great kick.
Plenty of space. Great kick. Gibson, he's running back too. Bit too far. Got nothing to go to. So he just goes inboard of the corridor. Gibson's behind. Gets a fist there. Ball spills over the back. Smith, he handballs it in the corridor. Farah, he's lurking. Palmerston have the numbers. Farah turns around, rolls, snaps. Great smother there from Wilkinson. And they're putting on the pressure. Palmerston didn't think that one through. They have another chance here. Comes out from Patrick. And a kick into the forward pocket to Gibson. And Palmerston, maybe here, they will reap some reward for their effort.
Well, Phil Wills not wanting to have a shot at goal there. But Groves did some work from half back. Really kept the pressure on second and third effort to really force that turnover. And Farah thought that from 49 he could dob it on the turn and didn't count on the big St Mary's Ruckman Smith being in the way as Gibson comes in.
So Gibson in the pocket now. Just trying to wheel it home, and it's the wrong side of the post. So another behind for Palmerston. Slowly pegging it back. They move to 25 points down and half their score.
Matty Green from full back, thought he may have ran himself into a little bit of trouble there. He's taking it all the way to the 50. Handball there to Smithson. He handballs there to Wilkinson. Smithson, geez, he's kicked that backwards. Palmerston plays first there. Picked up there by Guthrie on his right boot. Stokes is there. Parnell's right there with him and said, you ain't going anywhere, buddy. Forces the ball out of bounds and right under the scoreboard over there we'll get a boundary throw-in.
So we hit to the 15-minute mark of this quarter, and since quarter time, Palmerston have kicked just the one goal. St Mary's have kicked 4, and they really need to start adding some scoreboard pressure here, particularly in these low-scoring contests. That hit out there from Grenfell goes back. Farah, he gets a handball back the other way. Both teams running defensively. Good turn there from Harvey. Harvey runs around, kick to Pedersen. 60 out from goal, too far. But they're in a good position. He goes into the pocket. And that one, geez, Sport over the top. Oborn, he's under pressure. Tracy there trying to paddle it through. Kicking in danger there from the runner in Wills. Tracy gets a handball through. Gibson gets it back. Now with Patrick. Patrick snaps on goal. And it's gone through.
Well, they had to work for it, but they got it in the end.
And they reduced the margin back to 19 points. Palmerston in this one, and they'll be happy with that. Just worked it through, thought a bit more cleverly. I thought that last one, Farah probably had one too many turns, a bit too cute, and his kick was smothered. There they just worked through it, fought through it a bit better, and Patrick, the recipient, and got on the end of it for a goal. As we speak, Ablett running back onto the ground.
To a few cheers from the crowd, but gee, they had to work very hard for that. I don't know that if I was Josh Heath, I'd be happy about at how hard they're having to work. And just looking at that scoreboard, you talk about scoreboard pressure, Will, which is a good call. Palmerston's had 11 scoring shots to 15, so you know, a few more goals, a few more conversions, and it's a different perspective, you would think.
Tracy out on the wing, the ex-West Coast Eagle rookie listed player. I think it's Anthony Tracy. He's played a very good game of footy and he's had a very good season, very underrated and a hard runner. It's been instrumental here. So they've got to try and get 2 in a row here, Palmerston. Well done there by St Mary's. They win the clearance. Andrew Green's first there. Yaron's lurking. He's got to get rid of it. He does. Gives it back to Parry. Parry just goes long down the line. Not a bad kick because Gibbonson's there. Ball was probably always going to go over the back. Picked up there by Stenning. Handball over there to Jellyman Turner. He's got to get rid of it because Farah had him. Over there to the St Mary's and a little chip forward. And the mark there taken by Boyle. Boyle, he's kicked 2 goals. Tries to drill that one to his full forward who's also kicked 2. But chopping it off there. Ashton Hams goes back towards goal. This could be costly. Makes Clohessy fight. Hams has to go in and redeem himself. Calder's lurking. Clohessy manages to pick up. Handball over the top there to Green. Geez, they're under the pump and they manage to clear their 50.
Ham's very lucky there. Ball comes over the back and rolls out of bounds. So Look, he gave his second and third effort there. Awful kick from Hams. It was an awful kick coming in as well from St Mary's player, but they really got away with one there, Palmerston. And
well, they still kicked a 2-on-1, Will. Sorry.
When you're 19 points down, you can't be making errors like that at all, can you, Ashley?
No. Sorry, he still kicked to a 2-on-1, so the challenge was always in front of the of Gibbison.
Ball comes in over the back. Grenfell comes his own ball, tackled instantly by Groves, and we'll have another ball up just outside the centre square on the wing. Comes up now. Gibson try to get a hand in. Guthrie at the bottom of the pack. Farah, Groves all getting involved. No one can take it cleanly, and a fist in there. Ablett try to kick it off the ground.
We won't give him a stat for that, boys. We've got Ablett tracker. What are we on, Ash?
I'll have to have a quick look. Hang on, he's had 4 kicks, 2 handballs. So what's that? 6 possessions, 6 disposals altogether, 2 marks and 1 tackle.
Saints now at half forward. Bowden, he goes inside 50 to the lead of Calder. Had to work for it, couldn't take the mark. Ball play on. Tackled over the top. Palmerston have the numbers, but Saints have the pressure. Getting to it there is Green. Not a good kick. Musgrove takes the mark. No, he doesn't. Play on. Still trying to get it cleanly. Mensch gets a handball out of the danger zone. Lennon, in fact, it was Nason's bounced off his head, and umpire has pinged holding the ball. Free kick to St Mary's, about 60 out from goal. This will go, I think, to
Lant. So Lant take this for St Mary's. Doesn't have a lot forward. He's going to drill it. Palmerston, Gibbison's back. Grenfell's in front. Gets a fair chunk of it. That's great front and square there. I think that was by Cook. Well done there by Ted Castle on his left foot. He's a goal sneak. Potential draftee this year. We were reading Kevin Sheedy gave him a big rap during the week. And through for a behind of St Mary's, and Palmerston clear to the near side.
Stokes put under pressure instantly, and Ling, he'll go inside 50 to Calder all by himself, and he takes a good mark. 25 out from goal on a slight angle.
Yeah, those sorts of mistakes are coach killers, and by mistakes I mean not manning up, and you can't afford to leave someone like Calder alone. Not only has he got a height advantage over Closey, who's been standing in most, but he's getting such good delivery in from his midfield, and if he's got a metre or 2 on you, you're never going to stop him.
So Calder walking in his kick 2 in that second quarter. That one not great off the boot, just through for a behind.
He's been inaccurate tonight, Jackson Calder, and I think he's certainly kicked more points than he has goals.
So Hams, he brings it in. That's a better kick. Palmerston work it out of their back line. Big Pedersen the target. Good strong mark on the wing. Gets the hands off instantly to Harvey. Harvey goes down to his forward in Gibson. Gibson picks it up on the half volley. Runs around, snaps into the pocket. Ablett's lurking. But so too is Parnell. He got a fist to it and will roll out of bounds.
Yeah, Parnell perhaps had a chance to grab that when you got Gary Ablett behind you within a whisker. I guess you got to second guess yourself, so he decided to go for the fist there. Almost went straight towards the boundary line.
You reckon Gary said, "We're going to punch it or mark it?" Darren, you're going to punch it or mark it? What are you going to do? Punch it or mark it? I'm right here.
You don't take chances with Gary Ablett, do you?
No, Pedersen did well to get off the ground there for a big bloke like that. Right here in front of it, we had a bird's eye view.
So boundary umpire launches in. Big Smith in front. Just says, I'm going to whack that forward. Whacks it to the big Peterson there. Tries to send it back inside 50. Nason, Paredes. Over there to Ablett. Ablett, here's the voice over there to Lampton. Oh, the handball was on. If they had got that over, they were away. That was well done there by Jacob Long. He kicks one high, and he goes as far as Peterson. Chips one there to the 50. Stokes to Ablett. Ablett spins from the paint, lowers his eyes, goes inside 50. Oh, mark drop there by Nason. Lampton's there. He gets absolutely drilled.
And it'll be a free kick to Farah for a high over the top.
Farah, he got absolutely drilled, and umpire was pretty quick to call it.
Well, Ablett now goes to 5 kicks, 3 handballs.
Slowly coming alive in
6 disposals.
He's showing glimpses of what he could do one day. Hasn't really gotten there today, but I like what I see, boys. I like what I see.
So Will Farah lined up at full forward today for Palmerston in the absence of his brother John O'Farah. He's got no Eddie Betts and no Trav Larko down there. He's been solid, hasn't drilled a major yet. Beautiful camera angle behind that. He drills it, and that's a very important goal for Palmerston. They're still alive. 5 goals, 7:37. trailing St Mary's 7 goals 10-52, and we're back to a 15-point ball game. 22.5 minutes gone in this third quarter.
Well, they needed that score on the board, and they've got to close up this margin. I think they'd want to get another 1, another 2. We're well and truly into time on, and I think they're going to need another 1 at least to keep that scoreboard pressure ticking over, and so that they can start the fourth quarter with something and be on a bit of movement forward.
They are starting to get a roll on. The play the last couple of minutes has been on their terms, and it's danger zone for both sides now. Don't want to give away any red time goals. Pedersen got the hit out, but he'll get the clearance. Goes inside 50. Defensive mark there, however, from Lennon Marlin, and that's the three-quarter time siren. So heading into the final term, it will be St Mary's holding a 15-point lead, 7-10-52 to the Palmerston Magpies, 5-7-37. We'll just quickly go through our goal scorers. For St Mary's, it's Calder with 2, and singles to Grenfell, Boyle, Smithson, Paredes and Jellyman Turner. For Palmerston, it's singles each to Farah, Guthrie, Mensch and Gibson. We'll be back after this three-quarter time break.
To the left of your radio they go.
Wow, what a goal to start the game.
Beautiful. Goes for home and it's nailed, an absolute ripstorter. From the pocket, and he's kicked an absolute ripper.
Welcome back to TIO Stadium here for round 8 action between Palmerston and St Mary's. I'm Will Zwart, with me is Clint Firth and Ashley Manakaros. It's a 15-point lead to St Mary's as we head into the final quarter that the little master Gary Ablett Jr. might ever play. Hopefully not. He'll start in the forward line for this quarter. But we will see how we go. Just the last few kids getting off the ground from that 3-quarter time break. Umpire raises the ball and we'll be away for the final quarter.
So it's Big Peterson in there up against Smith. Smith goes the leg into him. Goes back for a second crack, but he's not going to catch Farah there. Farah, little one there to Wills. Lant did well. Farah goes back and drills him. Umpire says there's a free kick, there's advantage. Picked up there, I think that might be Smithson or Boyle. Goes into Calder. Clohessie's done really well on him when he's gone to him. Picked up there by Yaron, round on the right. Boots. And he's kicked a ripper from 30 metres out, gives the crowd a salute, and that is exactly what St Mary's wanted in the start of this fourth quarter.
Well, 30 seconds in, they're on the board already. Great goal from Nicky Yaron. We just watched the replay here, and you can see he just picks it up, takes one step. Well, that's not what Josh Heath would have wanted at Palmerston, Will.
No, not at all. And very good goal from a very credentialed player. Won the NT News Player of the Year last year, I believe, or one of the media awards last year, Nicky Yaron. So a player who can turn it on. He can just take 5 minutes and turn the game on its end.
Ryan Smith, he's been very good for St Mary's up against Patterson. Patterson won out that time, comes to Guthrie. Farah tries to pick it up, then it comes to Wills. Wills over the top to Mensch. Mensch onto a running John Harvey. Harvey onto a leading Will Farah. And Will Farah will take a mark on the chest. Steadies everyone down and decides to go and have a shot. He's got Matthew Stokes pointing at the goal.
Beautiful call, Ash, and beautiful play there by Palmerston.
Farah. Stokes wants him to have a shot, probably because Stokes wants to have a breather. Game's only just got underway. Farah then goes in short and he picks out his brother Josiah. It's a Farah-thon.
Good call, Ashley.
As Josiah will go back. I don't think he's much closer. What do you think, Will? You think he's closer, Clint?
Better angle.
Better angle, yeah, we'll give him that. I don't think he's much closer, though.
I think he, without sounding derogatory, I think he's perhaps a better kick than his brother. Maybe his brother identified that.
You think that's why Will? So Will can mark and Josiah can kick the goals. Josiah comes in. Big left foot. Puts it up. It's going to go across. And umpire William Wood just points to the point post. And Palmerston get their first score of the final term.
Matty Green, kick out there to Parnell. Stokes is right there. Geez, they're a good little combination back there, Parnell and Green. I think they work amazingly well together. Very similar age, very similar players, the way they're playing for St Mary's. And Matty Green, he could play midfield, he could play forward. He doesn't necessarily have to play back, but he's doing it so well. I don't think he's going to get out of there. Anyway, comes there to Mensch. Mensch kicks a high one into the square. There's no one there. Long's the only one there. And the mark is taken, and he clears on the outer side to Paredes. He's chased there by Ablett, goes in board, was read there by Farah, dropped an easy mark in the end, allowed St Mary's to pick up. Farah goes back in there, Wills can't gather, Smithson's there, Wills has got him, and umpire's got him. He's pinged one, and he gives a handball to Lant, and they're away.
So Lant sends it up to the half forward. He's got Grenfell there, lets it bounce, so he's Calder. Calder gets it one hand, dragged off it. Quick hands though. Play on is the call, advantage is there, and he's going to run into an open goal, I reckon. And that goal will go to Hillier. Well, he got held off the ball. The free kick was awarded, but they just kept running, the Green Machine. They've done that all night. We watch it here. Lant, big left foot, bounce. He's dragged off it without the ball. And Hillier just runs on, advantage. Well, what do you think? The game's opened up a little bit now.
It has. A long way for Palmerston to come back. Just noticed at half forward for Palmerston there, Ablett chatting with the umpire, getting a bit of instruction, and just shows you can never stop learning, Ashley.
Yeah, something like that. I must say, I'm really impressed with this 4-umpire system. I think it's going to be a big hit in the game next year. I really am. I think it's going to... They're bringing up the AFL umpires up to the Northern Territory over the next 4 weeks to induct them all, as Smith won out just like he's done a fair bit tonight. It comes across to Cook. Cook got taken out heavily and will get a free kick as a consequence. Advantage is played to Lant. Lant has got a leading teammate, and that teammate has put it over the top to Grenfell, and Saints will go back and have a shot at goal. And it was Boyle, I think, that put that in.
Young Bo Tedcastle.
It was Bo Tedcastle put that in. And for his efforts, he's being brought off. And we'll go in through the interchange as Grenfell will come in and have a shot at goal.
Perhaps just keeping Tedcastle right for the draft coming up. Obviously, he's got big aspirations coming forward. I think Essendon, in particular, have been looking at him. So hopefully another Territorian making the AFL ranks. Kick-off line from Grenfell.
Yeah, it was just offline and through for a point, but not a bad effort, actually, because he didn't take many steps.
Would have hurt Palmerston. They stay alive. Margin there at 27 points. Hams gets it back in the square. Goes down the middle. And the mark there taken by Chloe Hesse. Chloe Hesse's a gun, and him and Hams back there. A little bit like Green and Parnell at the other end. So Hams uses the ball well, goes out there to War. St Mary's have manned up well behind the ball here, so they're going to try and force this long down the line. Palmerston say, no, you're not. They go back to the square, and the mark there taken by Chloe Hesse. Not too much on. Presenting out to the far side there is Harvey, and he swings around on his left foot. Umpire says play on. Sets a task for his teammate there. It was directed there to Wills, but it was always in favour of Hillier, and Hillier takes the mark, and he's going to send it back in for St Mary's.
Hillier, he's got Calder on the lead if he wants him. Under pressure close, he didn't really get anywhere near it in the end. It's come loose. Paredes is in there, wraps up his opponent, trying to get the foot to the ball in there as well. He's picked up by Cook. Punched over the top there was Tracy. Can't get a complete possession. Comes out to Lant. Lant on the left foot. Puts it through and seals it.
Well, you're right, Ashley. That puts St Mary's up by a solid 43 points, and Palmerston have only kicked 38, so more than double their score. They've got to kick in probably about 15 minutes worth of play. Lant, he's sealed it. He's been one of the better players tonight, I'd say.
33 points.
Well, I might have called the game a little bit. I might have called it a bit early there at the 6.5 minute mark, so forgive me. But
33 point, probably a game high.
What I meant by sealing it, by the way, was he sealed the goal. That's
sealed the goal.
He made that happen.
He's one player, Land. In a time like this, fellas, you can't let him free. And we saw him dominate in the final series last year. He's the king of finding space, and he's going to find space. You cannot allow him freedom. A game like this, he's just going to come into it and he's going to ruin you. So ball back in the middle. Players go after it. St Mary's play did well, kept him in front of him, gives a handball to Salmon. Salmon shimmies, he's going to switch across the ground there, and the mark there taken by Cook. He's got Jellyman Turner running with him. Lambton's only there with him, they were outnumbered there. Goes, sets a task there for Calder. Chloe Hesse's there with him. That's been a magnificent battle down there, Chloe Hesse, and well done. It's fine in the end, he wins it. Throws it on the boot, sends Lambton a target. He's surrounded there by two St Mary's players. He does well, gets a hand in there. He's got to keep this ball in front of him. Goes back, picks up. Here's the boys, Harvey. Harvey spins back inboard. They've done well here, Palmerston. Guthrie kicks it to the leading forward. Ball goes over the back. Ablett was there. Umpire said it's a free kick there to Gibbonson. And right on the paint, Matty Green will stand. Ablett's got a bit of space in the 50 here, whether they're going to use him.
No one in the square.
No one in the square. Gibbonson's seen that. He's going to go long. Farris, there's the mark we're looking for. He got a piece of it. Ball to the ground. Gary off the floor. It was all set up for him in the pocket.
He's not happy with that as well. Appealing to the umpire for deliberate out of bounds. Umpire having none of it.
I thought we were going to get a Gary Beauty there, Ash.
Well, he's read it beautifully, and there was no one there. Gibbonson's just lined up. Ablett was set up at the 25 waiting for the bounce as the ball comes in. Pedersen gives it around the back. He's got Nason. Nason gives it off to his teammate, and it's had just a wild snap and has gone out of bounds, and they won't get possession. It was McMahon that had the snap. I don't know if he was actually having a shot or whether he was just looking for Farah. But the ball will be thrown in around about 15 metres from the Palmerston goal.
Umpire launches in. Guthrie and Matty Green saying hello to each other. Ablett lurking at the front. Well done there by the St Mary's player. Palmerston player there winning hard as well. Comes out there to Smithson. Jellyman Turner running hard for him as he's done all day. He's been one of their best. He goes forwards. Only as far as Hams through his hands. Clay Hesse first back. Shimmies to Hams. And then decides not to go to him and drills one out wide there to Harvey. So St Mary's have pressed up here. They've almost got all their players in Palmerston's half. They're trying to close it down. So the Palmerston are going to switch there. Ball comes out there to, I think that's Parry. Parry with a little one forward there. And then it's a great mark there taken by Peterson, who's been a standout for Palmerston. Ablett was over the back there waiting. And look, he has to kick this, or I think it's game, set, match.
Oborn just kept in the wrong position there. Couldn't get a fist over the top, but when it's a player like Pedersen, not many people can.
So in the bright blue boots, Pedersen kicks from 46 metres. Umpire moves a little bit to her left, but she gives the all clear. We've still got a game of footy on our hands. It's a 27-point ball game. We've gone 10.5 minutes in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, Pedersen just proving his value as a big ruckman.
So they reduce the margin again. Let me see if my maths is on point this time, boys. It's 27 points to St Mary's. Still a little bit in it, but I'm going to stick with my guns before and say it's a little bit beyond reach. 10 minutes left and about 5 goals they will need just to hit the lead. Can't concede anything else from here.
And they've only kicked 6 for the game, so it's a big task. St Mary's going to push up. They're going to try and press it, and they're going to effectively a flood.
Giverson, one out, but it's picked up by Saints and Saints midfield, and they get it straight out through Boyle. Boyle into a contest. And coming straight through there was Hams. Not Hams, in fact, it was Parry. Parry gives it out to the running Lampton. Lampton on the boot was looking for the little master, couldn't find him. It was picked up by Parnell, being Ablett at 50. Oh, you can't pay a 50 against me.
Apparently you can.
And he did. And so now they're going to work all the way back, and Parnell's taken it all the way to the centre wing, and he has a chance to go from defence to attack. Calder on the burst in the lead. It's punched away by Groves for Palmerston, and will go out of bounds and be thrown in the right forward pocket of St Mary's.
I tell you, when Ablett gave away that 50, Parnell just took off and gapped him by about 30 metres, and he just left him in the lurches back there. And I think Gary just said, "You take him, boys. I'm out of gas."
And Jellyman Turner, I can see through my specs, my binoculars, he's just giving him a bit of lip, and Gary doesn't look too happy. Dare say it might be a longer stint between games for him.
So ball there, Palmerston now, it's do or die. Guthrie wins it out of there, goes long, but it's only as far as the big fella Grenfell, who's played a magnificent game. He takes the mark, he's going to send it back inside of the pocket. It's a beautiful kick to the favour there of Smithson. Coming over the top there was Gibbison.
And a free kick's been paid for deliberate. Yeah, he's paid deliberate. Smithson was asking the question about the marking infringement, but he's paid deliberate.
Okay, I didn't see too much of it, but Smithson, as we said, very, very dominant play. He's played good tonight. I think it's his first game back for the year. Very good player in their final series last year. Got a lot of touches in the grand final, and this will put the final nail in Palmerston's coffin if you can drill this.
It's a beautiful running goal from 50 in the first. I'll back him for this one.
All right, right at the boundary, tough kick. Umpire, geez, Will.
Well off from there.
Yeah. Coach, that's a commentary killer. You've done well there to put the mocker on him.
Sorry there, Josh.
And ball with Hams, he'll bring it in.
Yeah, Hams goes one way and then back the other. Now he's going to go in short. And he picks out Stokes. Stokes has had to come a long way down and gives it off to a runner. Mensch fumbles it. He's going to get wrapped up and slammed to the ground. Play on is the call. It's going to be a bouncing ball. Tracy's in there. Ball though, hands picked up by Farah. Now it's over to Ablett. Gets another stat. He picks out Wharf. He's got Farah in the goal square. He's got to hurry, and he does. Farah's trying to set himself. Will Farah goes over his hands, hits the post, and a point.
Not a good kick at all. Just took way too long, and it was a high, long ball. It needed to be a short, sharp dart to him. The defenders got in, and Farah, again, just another opportunity wasted for Palmer.
Perhaps that's where Farah's got to, when he realised it took too long, he's just got to say, nah, we're too late now. We could see it from up here. The kick held too long in the air. Was always Always going to be a challenge. St Mary's take it, drilled long half forward, sets a task for Big Calder. Right there with him's Chloe Hesse. Goes back and lays a good tackle there on Lant. Comes there to Marlin. He goes boundary side again to Chloe Hesse. He's been one of Palmerston's best. Drills the left foot down and called out of it there was the Palmerston player. Mensch. Back to Nason, back to Mensch on his favourite left boot. Goes to a one-on-one inside 50. That's Stokes, uses his body well. Only his handball to Green. Should have been pinged for holding the ball. Comes there to Gibbonson, around on his right boot. Jellyman Turner's back there and through for one behind. And 15 minutes gone in this quarter, behinds aren't going to help Palmy.
No, and Tracy was all on his own here on the grandstand side and was screaming, waving around. And Gibbonson got white line fever. Jellyman Turner bounces the ball down. Stokes takes out Jacob Long. And a free kick will be paid upfield. And it'll go to Hillier. So Hillier has a chance, and he does, and gives it off to young Bowden. Getting an experience tonight. Bowden's kick hits the turf. Lampton wraps him up. Grenfell with a hurried kick, though. Picks out Paredes. Paredes can chip it over to his runner, and that's Hillier. Hillier just spins and turns and then goes on again to Lant. Lant looked to go, now he does. Left foot from 50 at goals. It's going to go long, and I reckon it's going to go through. Well, Dylan Lant proving his quality and class.
I'd like to see his stats, boys, when they come out on Tuesday or Wednesday. I think he's been very, very good tonight. And he's not quick. He hasn't got a massive leap, but he just continues to find the footy, and he pushes forward and kicks goals.
Perhaps if we looked at his stats tonight, the sheet would have been fuller and might have had a bit more on the task as a stats man. But he's kicked 2 goals tonight. It's his second, and he's been very good. Another one of St Mary's better players.
He's really led from the front, as has Paredes, and as has that man on the screen, Ryan Smith. Gee, he's been good tonight there, Ruckman.
So we've got the Ablett tracker, and obviously there's a subplot to this game. It's 3 versus 6 on the ladder. Improved Palmerston last year's premiers, but a lot of the crowd here to watch Ablett. So we've got him down for 8 disposals, 5 kicks, 3 handballs, 2 marks and 2 tackles. So not a massive influence from the goat there as St Mary's get it. Comes there to Paredes. They're probably going to slow this down now, I reckon. There's no real need to go too quickly forward. Of course, he's going to go looking there for Calder, or perhaps a little bit more inboard. And gaining front position there was Wharf, and he takes a good mark there for Palmerston. Brings it out to the near side. Lampton's there. Needs to bring it over the back. Fane's on the inside. Big Peterson's there. Got to get down. Geez. Different weight classes there. Yarran versus Peterson, but Yarran bounced back up. Comes there to Guthrie on his right boot. Goes there to Ablett. Have a look at that. Thank you. Down there to Mensch. Mensch puts it on Stokes' head. He plays for the free kick.
And he's given away a free kick.
He went for a dive like a 4-year-old falling off his play equipment. The umpires, he paid him for, what's that one called, Ash?
It's called a marking infringement.
No, when you feigned for the free kick, I think it was.
Oh, that's not what he's paid. He's paid
okay, anyway.
But yeah.
How about the magic touch from Ablett as well?
The Ablett was just the tap on. That's just glorious football. And we had a great aerial view of it up here at TIO Stadium as they run around to get things going again. And it goes long up to the middle. Oborn was the target. In there is Groves. Hands and knees. It comes back out to Andrew Green. Andrew Green looking for Farah. Takes a great chest mark, and he's been paid. Great position there by umpire Heffernan, right on the spot. Farah has an opportunity to go back and perhaps close this out. We're at the 18.5-minute mark here in the final term. And Farah, he looked inboard to his brother Josiah earlier. He's not doing that this time. And he is going to go back, and on a bit of an angle, he stabbed at it again. It's looking pretty good, though, and it's going to get over that line, I reckon. It's through for a goal.
So Farah, he kicks his second and reduces the margin to 25 points. Palmerston 7-10-52 trailing St Mary's 11-11-77. 19 minutes of the way through this round 8 clash here at TIO Stadium, and as always you're watching AFL&T's coverage of the 2022-23 NTFL season.
Just quietly, boys, I did say St Mary's by 26.
Oh, I thought it was more than that.
Anyway, we'll see how we go. Yeah, 20 minutes gone, so probably only 3 or 4 minutes of playing time left in this one. St Mary's are going to get up, 25 points up. It's a big win for them. Puts them probably in the top 5 by the end of this round. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. And Palmerston, they'll probably slip down a little bit. They've had a stellar start to the season, so they'll be looking to continue that form on into Christmas, as the umpire's paid an obvious one there, and it's going to be a free kick to the St Mary's player Paredes, so I think it's been outstanding tonight. Got a lot of the footy as well.
Yeah, real captain's game again.
He's done really well in there with his partner in crime, Land. So Paredes from the middle, drills one forward. Marlon read it best. Ball goes over the back. Smithson was there, kicked it into Mason. First one there was Clohessy. He's been a star as well. Gives to Green. Green a little one to Marlon. Marlon doesn't have too much to go to. Goes to Mensch there. His jumper was being held.
Yeah, good call.
That's a good call by the umpire. We can see it from here. The Palmerston crowd shouting it. So Mensch on his left foot, down towards the wing. Farah's there. He's going to jump at it. Wilkinson right there with him. Well done by Wilkinson. Followed up. Throws it on his boot forward. Only as far there as Marlon. A little bit of attention after the kick. And it affected the kick. And only goes as far there as Stenning. And he takes the mark on centre wing for St Mary's.
Stenning goes in short and picks out a teammate. Bowden plays on quickly, looking for Calder. Calder's a flyer, punched away though. Closey was there, over the top. Out they come through Andrew Green. Andrew Green gives it off to his runner in Mensch. Mensch goes sideways. Oh, waiting for it was Harvey. Shouldn't have done that. Or it was Lambton, was it? No, in fact it was Tracy, sorry. I'll get one of them right in a minute. And for some reason Salmon's come up with it and he's got a free kick out of it. Salmon goes sideways and picks out Parnell, who's left his man on half back and has snuck down. He picks out Ted Castle. Loose. No one's really got possession of it. It's just someone trying to reach in. Smithson comes back out though to Green. Green goes in short and picks out Harvey. Harvey has got to go again, and he was looking for Tracy. It bounced off his chest, picked up by Salmon now, who skirts away. A bit of pace from the youngster. He puts it on the boot, up to looking in the direction of Calder. Coming in and soccering it off the ground was Yaron.
Oh, no, umpire's called touch.
Touched.
Yeah, he called it straight away.
Well, he did soccer it off the ground. It was just touched.
Well done. And Clohessy's fighting hard back there. He's under the pump against Calder. They're coming in, but almost reckon he's got the better of Calder in the second half. It's been a really good contest. So on cue, Clohessy out to the far side. The mark there's taken by Stokes, who's pushed up. Doesn't have too much to go to, so he's got to go wide, and the mark taken there by Harvey. Harvey on his left foot goes to Ablett, and that's a mismatch if ever I've seen one. Ryan Smith chasing Ablett. Crowd screaming for who's taken out after it in 50. Umpire says no. Ryan Smith says, where's the mark? Umpire says it's right on the paint there on 50. To Gary, he's obviously going to run round the bigger man. Kicks it from right on the 50. He's hit it pretty well.
Oh!
And it's there. Just across the face, you can hear the crowd scream.
Sorry, that was me.
And that's...
that brought him alive.
That did bring him alive. So, what's that, a 19-point ball game? St Mary's bring it back in.
Can I say to you, no one has actually left this ground. They are all here waiting to see what happens next. Waiting to see what the little master does. And it ends up in the hand of Cook. Cook's been told to play on and play on quickly. Jellyman Turner just plucks it out of the air. Held up by Lambton. Jellyman Turner's got time. He's going to go all the way back to Paredes. Well inside the 50. Well, the kick's not great. They get away with it though. Comes to his teammate in Matthew Green. He goes sideways out to Long. Long can go to Parnell, who's got space well and truly in front of Phil Wills.
He should play rep footy in January, I'm thinking.
Parnell?
Matty Green.
Matty Green, yep. He's certainly got to be amongst it.
Every time he touches the ball, he's just as clean as a whistle.
I will say to you, though, our defensive six in that rep side is going to be hard to pick. There's about 4 or 5 very good defenders running around as it comes to Land. Land inside 50, shrugs off one, puts it on the left, goes at goals and puts it through.
His third for the night, and that one, surely that is the cherry on top. St Mary's moved to 12-12-84, leading Palmerston 7-11-53. A 31-point ball game here, and just look at Lant running through against the great man, Gary Ablett. Gets around another tackle, just kicks it through. I think all three of his goals have come in this last quarter, and he's just capped off his game very well.
I reckon if that was a stake, it was double sealed. This game was a stake, it would have been double sealed.
So just going back, boys, what we were saying before about the rep side, I'm not sure if they include fines or not, but I've got Hams, Mitch Taylor, the Collis brothers, Matty Green, Parnell, Newman. Then you've got Jetta, Collis, all in that back line. So good luck to the selectors on that. I'll be picking a gun team there. It's the ball back in the middle in the dying seconds of this one. Peterson wins that. Will Soccer's off the ground. Mensch has gone to a half-forward flank. Caught one over the ear then. Umpire said play on. Spinning out was Guthrie, but he spun out without the ball. Parnell, Paredes, Smithson, Yarran. If he can gather, he's going to go for a run here. Just couldn't pick up. Goes inboard there, and Oborn was on his own. But it doesn't matter. Siren's gone. And congratulations to St Mary's. They defeat Palmerston in round 8 of the 2022-2023 NTFL season.
So, a very well-oiled St Mary's side, finally looking to click into gear tonight. Took them 8 rounds to do. They've come out 12-12-84, 31 points clear of Palmerston on 7 goals, 11. Just quickly run through the goal scorers. Dylan Lant with 3, Calder with 2, and singles to Jellyman, Turner, Paredes, Yarran, Hillier, Smithson, Grenfell and Boyle for the Saints. For Palmerston it was 2 to Farah and singles to Patrick, Guthrie, Mensch, Pedersen and Gibbison. And if you're just looking at the camera here, look at the fans running on the ground from everywhere. You can see this is, you haven't seen scenes like this for a while. It's usually not until mid-March in the NTFL Grand Final when you see crowds like this flocking to the field, all trying to get to the little master, Gary Ablett. Looking at our Ablett tracker tonight, 9 touches, a single behind, 3 marks, a couple of tackles, that one magic touch just below us here in that final term, and 1 50-metre penalty against. So a little blemish for him. Not his best night, but great to see what he could do once again.
Yeah, very enjoyable. And look, you know, I think no one wanted to leave the ground. They all wanted to see what he was going to do. And I think that last shot at goal on the burst really gave everyone really had them clapping. There was a loud applause for a point. So everyone's very, very happy. And you can see the kids flocking out there. And I think that's what it's really about. We don't get to see AFL on a weekly basis. And we get to see the greatest of all time come up here and give a bit of time to the town.
It's a very strange scenes, Will, as you said. Umpires running out, security running out around Ablett, cameras running out there. Great scenes, to be honest. Everyone's out there trying to get a photo with the great man, and hopefully, you know, his little week up here with Palmerston Footy Club are the beneficiaries of that, and NT Football, I can't see any negatives for it. It's a really good experience for everyone involved, and good on the little master.
Yeah, absolutely. They've definitely made gate tonight and over the weekend. A couple of social events last night with Ablett and Stokes also obviously visiting, and I think they've got a few engagements over the weekend too. We'll just quickly run through our best players. Ashley, who did you give your 3-2-1-2 tonight?
Oh, well, you put me on the spot here. Very, very difficult. I think, it's a challenge because there were so many contributors from the St Mary's point of view, and I think we're going to see that. They're going to contribute down to about player 18 or 19. We look at the stats, but I think Clint should probably do it.
I'll go if you want.
Go. You've actually.
I'll go. Oh, I haven't really. I've got a bit of a chance to think about it.
I'll go first.
Throwing under the bus.
I'll start with Dylan Lant. I thought 3 goals, he was fantastic.
Yep.
One of the subplots as well. We saw him and Mensch almost identical on those stats coming into the game, and Lant just had the better off and capped it off with 3 goals in the final term. Paredes, the skipper for St Mary's, he gets my 2 votes. I thought he led from the front. He's a bullocking bulldog running through there, and just great leadership as always. And I gave my single vote to Nick Yarran. Finished off with a goal in that last quarter, and a bit of X factor in class from go to woe.
Yep, 3 for Lamp for me as well. Thought was brilliant. I thought 2 for Cam Peterson. I thought he was sensational for Palmerston. Created a target. Almost played as a small man over the ground through at times, and had a very, very big impact on his game. And also Nate Paredes, as you did, Will. one vote, got a ton of the footy, was the engine room in there. Needed him to stand up tonight, and he did.
Yeah, the only difference I would throw in, I'd throw in two other names. Ryan Smith from St Mary's, who I think in the ruck held his own against some good ruckmen, Gibbison and also Pedersen when he went in there. And I'd also want to actually mention the game of Sam Closey, because Calder was dominant and was presenting himself and had excellent delivery, but Closey was really causing him headaches in the way he was managing him. So, you could have picked a dozen players for the 3-2-1, but I think you've done well there.
I thought Gibbonson as well. Sorry, I possibly left him out, and also Matty Green and Kieran Parnell across half back were sensational.
Yeah.
One final name I'd like to throw in there as well, Anthony Treacy. I'm not sure if he was mentioned, but just thought he had a good game there on the wing. Well, that looks like it's all we've got tonight, Ablett. Still just trying to get through a mob of not just kids, but there's adults and everyone just wanting to get around him. It's been a good night and a good weekend, as we've said, for Palmerston Magpies. Perhaps the star power has cost them 4 points here, but I think they'll be very happy with the gate they took. St Mary's, meanwhile, they've clicked into gear, and I think it's only upwards for them from here on in the NTFL Premiership season. Thanks for joining us. I'm Will Zwar. With me tonight was Ashley Manakaros and Clint Firth. Pleasure calling the game with you boys, and we'll see you over the weekend for further round 8 action.
Thanks, Will.